are live. Hello. Hello. Oh goodness, I hear myself. Okay, I'm gonna mute that. Hello. Hi. Welcome to part 2 of the stream where I'm explaining anime to my normie friends. And friend, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Dazu. Back again.
And yes, here we are again, uh, doing the same things.
Round two.
Round 2, baby. Let's go. Okay, so, what is the last thing that you remembered from what I talked about yesterday? Or did it just all go over your head and be like, I have no clue what happened?
One of the main things probably was when I'm no, I can't remember names really, but when the guy was on his sister and the friends walked in,
Oh!
I feel like that's kind of one of the main things that easier to remember.
I see. I see. Cool. So that was, I think, episode 5. But right now we're on episode 8. So, quick recap is last thing that happened is they were on a quote unquote Christmas date. They went around, did some stuff, both Kirino and Kyosuke, which is like the brother, the Oni-chan, and the
Yes.
Imoto. And primary reason why is they went around to get material for her novel that she was writing. Uh, and the reason for that is like a publishing company came to her and be like, "Hey, we could publish your work." She's like, "Really? Folk Jam, let's go, let's do it." So what happens? What happens later on is she publishes it and it gets super big, super huge, and it's like one of the top selling visual novels, light novels, whatever, and cuts. And then next thing what happens is both Kirino and Ayase, they're both having lunch and they're just talking about it, and Kirino was telling Ayase like, "Hey girl, like, dude, like, I can't believe it, but my freaking novel's getting an anime." And she's like, "Oh really? Yo, that's so cool. Yeah, let's go." They're both
Yeah.
celebrating, but they're doing it a little bit quietly because they don't want the whole freaking
The world
place
to
to
find out.
yeah, freaking person who wrote this novel is a freaking middle schooler. Well, her specifically, because it kind of got really popular, not because it was like a somewhat decent story, but also it was made by like a middle school girl, and that's like the thing that made everyone interested. Like, oh, it's a middle school girl. Can she write this? Is ooh, whatever. Um, and then Kanako, again, their other model friend comes in, is like, oh yeah, like how like the like My City, that's what the novel's called, like how did My City get so popular and how like popped off. And she was thinking like, oh, it's really easy to write those kind of novels, just make it a little bit raunchy, etchy, and
Oh.
bam, get a lot of people to read it.
Of
And
course, usual things that a middle schooler would write about.
yes, of course, Kurt. And I say like, well, Kanako, I think it's harder than in that to do that, right? Isn't it here? Trying to be like flex, and Kirino's like, yeah. Kirino's like, yeah, I guess maybe I'm not sure. Like, looking around, like not, giving eye contact, whatnot.
Not admitting.
Yeah, not admitting anything. And then cut, gets the credits, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, and then the Weeb Squad gets together to talk about this new thing, which is freaking get out of here, ISA. Who cares about you? I'm just kidding, ISA. You're a good character. Oh yeah, so Sayori and Kuroneko. They're talking about the anime. I mean, they're congratulating her. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you got an anime? Yo, PogChamp, yo, let's go!" They're popping off and whatnot. And here's the thing about Kuroneko. So Kuroneko has been trying to write like novel for years, tries to get a public, and she's kind of heavy, and she's like, yuck, your novel's kind of trash." I can't believe you're getting so popular. I'm so envious of you. You know, little rival shit.
Yeah.
And then, Kirino is being a little soon, and she's like, well, hey, like, do you guys want to come to the meeting with me? It's like, I don't have to, but I might as well. It's a good experience for y'all, okay? Like, and then two of these people are like, you just want us to come because you're nervous, aren't you? And she's like, what are you talking about, you baka? Like, no, it's not that I'm nervous or anything. And
Of course not.
and she's blushing and all, getting red, and be like, okay, you guys can come, please come. Under breath.
Not nervous at all.
Yeah, like, I'm not nervous at all whatsoever. And yeah, and essentially one of the reasons why is because, like, it's because I need you guys there because I don't know that much stuff. I don't know what I'm doing anyways. And and then Kuroneko being the one who doesn't want to, like, admit, like, oh, you're a better writer than me or whatnot. She's like, well, I guess I'll go as well. I guess just because you need my support because you have no idea what you're doing. But she's really appreciating the opportunity to go and just, like, sit in.
He doesn't want to say it, so no, yeah, I'm helping you only. This is for you, not for me.
Yeah, essentially. Okay. And then they all go to the meeting, right? They all go to the meeting together, and this is like a pretty legit meeting. Like, there's business, there's like the directors, so there's a conference table right here. The conference table, and then you have like the director, the producer, all sitting right here. And then there's a person who's mediating right here, and then steps 3 right here. What's really funny is the mediator. I was like, oh, here's the creator right here, and here's just her assistants. And Kuroneko's pissed. She's like, what the frick? Why would I ever be your assistant? And Kuro's like, don't worry about it. That's the only way I could have got you guys in. And then she was like sweating bullets, dude. She was like pissing her pants.
Yeah, this is important.
Yes. A very important detail. And then the director and the producer, or the people on the other side, they're like, okay, so what do you want to do this? How do you want to make this anime? Whatever, right? Kino's really nervous. She's like, it takes her a little while to, like, but eventually she's able to, like, pass them, like, all pieces of paper of what her plan is. And then she goes Rambo. Freaking, it's like she just freaking she freaking got a freaking Tommy gun and start spit firing ideas and things and everything that she wants. And the thing about it is, like, she was really ecstatic. She's like, oh my gosh, okay, so I want this voice actor, I want this kind of music, okay, so for this episode I want this, for this episode I want this, I want this kind of character design, I want this person to, like, dude, she's going balls to the wall, everything, to almost, like, every nitty gritty detail of what she wanted. It was very, very specific. It's like saying, it's equivalent of saying, like, let's say you want to make a game, and then you go to the creators, and they're like, okay, so what kind of game you want to make? And then you burst out and be like, okay, I want the voice actor for Hutao, I want the freaking voice actor of Ayaka, like...
And holding it in the entire time, and then you just shoot everything.
Yeah, essentially. And then, these guys, they're chuckling, they're like, and these two, they have a concerned look, they're like, ah, goodness gracious, oh no. And then after she spitfires all that information, then these guys, the producers, thingamajiggers, the people are here. They start saying, okay, so let's talk about logistics. And essentially what happens is they smack down a lot of her ideas, like a lot of them. Essentially saying, okay, well, this will only be 13 episodes instead of a full 24. Did you know that? And she's like, wait, what? And then they started doing a whole bunch of other stuff, like getting like very subpar voice actors, producer or the art style and everything. Well, it's not gonna be that great. What else? And one big thing they ask is if they're able to change the main character instead of being a female to be a male.
Oh.
Yeah, so the main character of her novel was a female, and that's something that she really wanted to keep because, self-insert. Self-insert, because the characters, like the whole cast is a whole female character cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Zatri! Hey, you came! Welcome. I'm here explaining oreimo. We're going to the abyss. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so because of that, she gets really depressy, upsetty spaghetti. And then one thing Sari asks is like, okay, so when is this anime going to be made? And they're like, oh, in like a month. And they're like, oh, frick, what the frick? That's so soon. Here's the thing with anime productions, is that when they prepare stuff, it usually takes a long time, usually half a year to like a year or several years in advance. So like this is 3 months, and they're like, oof, there's like no time. That's why the director, the producer, they're kind of being really uptight about a lot of stuff because like they have no time at all.
It's strict.
Yeah. So it's sad boy-ass hours for Kirino. She goes home and then she freaking faints. She freaking faints. There should be 90 degrees. Well, whatever. It does the same effect. She faints. Okay, Zaltari, it's alright. You can't stay for long. That's good. That's all good. Okay. So, essentially, the squad meets up again and they talk about the anime. Not Kirino, but guess who's there instead?
Who?
Kyosuke. Kyosuke is there. So Kyosuke and the other two, they're talking, right? They're talking about the anime and whatnot. And essentially, what they kind of figured out is the reason why her novel got considered as an anime because someone else canceled their thing to become an anime. So it's literally just a substitution.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're like, bro, that's so messed up. What the frick? And then what happens is the brother's like, okay, that's messed up. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go for the meeting as Kirino's freaking proxy. And then the other two is like, The other
You know
two
what
is
he's
like,
doing, obviously.
the other two is like, okay, whatever you say, chief. So what happens is they go to the next meeting. These three go to the same meeting, same conference table, same people, same mediator. Same mediator. And they talk, and essentially, they're going back and forth of what they want to do, and and essentially, during this whole conversation, the producers and everyone is like, wait a minute, maybe you could just scrap the or like you could just do this and change this and that, blah blah blah. And Kyosuke is like, what the frig? Okay, if you guys are gonna go that route, why not just scrap the whole like novel, just not use it at all?
Her idea originally, and he just changing it all.
Yeah, essentially because it's like an adaptation, and then their argument is it's an adaptation, meaning that there are going to be changes and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Like, yes, we must conform to the standards of the community and go with what we always have done. Make a very boring generic anime that everyone will like. It will bring in the big bucks. And essentially, their whole argument is this is a business. You need to grow a pair of balls. Not everyone is going to get what they want, right?
Yeah.
And here Kyosuke freaking gets on his knees, and freaking begs them, please do it for me, or please do it for me. I love my little sister. Even though freaking anime is a business, I don't care. I love my sister, so do it for her. You're hurting my sister's feelings. She's been working so hard for this. And they're like, SMH, what the frick? Who's and this person in this meeting. What the freak? They're contributing nothing. They're freaking begging for the little sister. What? And then Kuroneko, the only one here freaking making any sense. She's like, y'all don't want to do it because freaking y'all are lazy bums. You don't want to try something adventurous or anything like that. Y'all are just conforming to the standard and just doing that instead of, Horizon. And they're like, okay, we'll think about it. And then everyone eats off. And then this is like the next day. So Kirino. Oh no, sorry. So Kuroneko.
Yeah.
She goes and asks Kyosuke and be like, yo, why are you doing such a lot for your little sister? And she's like, are you sure you're not like a siscon or like a pedo? And he's like, no. And pretty much he says, it's because she's my little sister. Or more of the lines of, because I am her brother. And Kuroneko, in like really cute ways, like, oh wow, I'm so jealous. But she doesn't make it known.
Yeah.
Cuts, then Kirino gets really excited about, this is like next day, Kirino gets really excited. She's talking to a friend on the phone, be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they listened to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so big brain. Like, I can't believe they took my ideas. And then, here's the thing. Kyosuke asked the, like, other people, the friends, not to say anything about the anime at all. Be like, don't tell her that, like, I went and, like, begged and whatnot. So, not knowing that, she was really pompous about everything. Like, oh, look at me. I have such good freaking persuasion skills to do anyone. Ah! And, and then, as she was, like, bragging about that to her brother and whatnot, and, the brother being like, huh, yeah, whatever you say. And then she's like, okay, big brother. Next time that we have the live canceling, when I come to you for help, that'll be the last one. And it cuts.
Oh.
Okay. Episode 9. Nothing really significant happens at episode 9. Only thing that's really, really... Zatsuni's watching have this. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Okay. The only important thing that happens in episode 9, it's a whole bunch of filler, but you know what? Kuroneko is freaking dude. Oh my. Ah! Okay. Here's the thing. So the whole day, the only thing I'll describe in this episode is what Kuroneko did, because it's so cute. So essentially, she's in her regular, instead of this black dress, whatever, she was wearing like a jersey, like a tracksuit kind of, with Adidas, doing a squat, drinking some freaking vodka, and going bleh bleh, and freaking going CS:GO. No, Zatri, I did not. But instead of doing that, she was being a big, a good one-sama, taking care of her little sister, making her food. Her little sister's so freaking cute, and she's cooking. She was making she was sewing some things, a plushie for her little sister. And here's the thing with Kuroneko, she's really good with her hands because she does all these different things. Also, she makes her own cosplay and whatnot. But yeah, that's the only important thing that really happens in episode 9. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but who cares about them? Kuroneko, best girl. Wait, what? I totally not biased.
We'll call it a filler episode.
Filler episode, yes. Okay. Then there is episode 10. Oh my goodness, episode 10. This is where it gets fun. So, what happens is Ayase and Kyosuke meets up. They both meet up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to him. They're meeting up in public just so she could ask him for a favor. And essentially, what happens is she was asking Kyosuke, so, okay, Kyosuke, Nissan. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Ayase doesn't call him Kyosuke. She calls him Onisan for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh,
Um, and that's very weird. It's like calling, I don't know. It's like someone that you know, like another female that's a little bit younger than you, calling you, "Hey, step bro," or not. Okay, okay, no, 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 no. Okay, not that. No, no, not that. But just calls you brother instead of your name. It's kind of weird, but.
weird. Yeah.
But anyways, she's like, "Okay, Nissan, I need help." And he's like, okay, with what specifically? She's like, "Okay, so you know how Kirino has that hobby?" And he's like, "Yeah." So, okay, so her birthday is gonna come up and I wanna get her a present and I don't know much because I'm not a weeb, so I think you should tell me what to get her. And he's like, "So you think I'm a weeb?" "Yeah, didn't you say that you love your city?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, frick, oh yeah, yeah, I got you covered, okay, I got you." And okay, the reason why he said yes is because she had these like puppy eyes, you know, she's giving him his like puppy eyes look, and the thing is that she's being really cutesy about it, really, you know, really honing in on the, "Oh, could you please help me? Oh my gosh."
Every trick in the book.
And he's like, "Okay, yeah, fine. I guess I'll do it." Um, and then what happens is Kyosuke, he goes home and asks Kirino and be like, "Hey yo sis," or "Hey yo sis, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want out of a present, sis?" It's like, "Ew, you want to try to get me a present? Yuck!" And he's like, "Wow, that really worked out greatly."
Incredible.
Yeah, and then and then what she starts to think is, "Wow, you've been spending so much time with my friend. Like, oh my gosh, like, we're spending so much time with my friend. First, it was the freaking other two girls. That's freaking Ayase. Like, what's wrong with you? You're such creep." And you know how he responds? He's like, "So what? Like, what are you, my girlfriend?"
Oh,
She freaking backhand him and be like, "Oh my goodness!" And then she walks away. You know, she leaves.
yeah.
And then cut. Then he pretty much talks to this, the Weeb squad. So Kuroneko and Ayase. And then essentially they start talking about what you know, what Kirino wants and whatnot. And then, hold on, tell what they want. Okay, how they told her the. Oh yeah, and essentially, hold on. Oh yeah. He was telling her how she got really pissed and whatnot. Because, oh yeah, my sister's like backhanding. They're like, why? "Oh, because I've been spending more time with y'all, you see all my friends and whatnot." And they're like, "Oh, lol. Okay, I see." And then they all go freaking shopping. They all go shopping together for something to look for the present. And the thing is, here's a condition for the present. Has to be something that Kirino likes, but it cannot be lewd or indecent, quote unquote. Because
Yeah.
Ayase will be the one giving her the present, and it'll be, if it's something lewd, Kirino's
It's a
gonna
little
be
weird.
like, that's odd. Didn't he say my hobby is disgusting? So, but however, they saw a poster, and they're like, "That is the perfect gift for Ayase. I mean, for Kirino." Oh shoot. So what happens is, this is the next day, and then Kyosuke, he goes and meets Ayase, and he hands him the flyer, and then she looks at it, and she's like, "Okay, this is neither lewd or raunchy, and it's something that she likes. So how to get this item? Because what it is a figure it is a figure of a character from the anime that Kirino really liked, and there's only
Okay.
one made. Like this is the only version, or it's like, yeah, the only figure. So it's like a one of a kind figure essentially.
Look at it.
Yeah, yeah, right. And she's like, so how do I get this? And he says, oh, you have to cosplay for it, of course. DXD. And she's like, wait, what? And then he explains the whole competition. So essentially, you have to cosplay as one of the characters from the anime. Um, and the thing is, Kyosuke was trying to convince her to do it because it's the perfect gift, and you know, ISA is a freaking model. He was convinced, like, hey girl, don't worry about it. You could freaking outperform the person who got first place last year because you're a freaking model. You can rock the clothes. And you know, she's hesitant about it because a lot of like cosplays, a decent amount, like the really good ones, they're quite revealing. They show a bit of cleavage, a little bit, you know, a little bit of the thighs, you know.
Not something you'd give to or wear to give to your little sister.
Yeah. Essentially, so cosplays. So essentially, she's like, okay, I guess I can. So what character would you recommend? And he freaking pulls out a what is it? Like a magazine, and it's one of the characters from the anime, and it's the most raunchy one. It's like the most revealing out of all of them. She freaking
Oh,
yells, slaps him, and is like, "You freaking pervert! Get away from me! Ew, yuck!" Um, but in the end, she's like, "Okay, whatever, I'll do it. If it's just because for Kirino, I'll do it." And he's like, "Poke jam, let's go!" And then, bam, then cut. What happens next is we see Kyosuke in a freaking, you know, he's decked out. He has a suit, his hair's gelled back, he got like shades. You know, it's like he's an agent or he's like the president of a company, you know? Or like a
very high
person.
class.
Yeah. And then here's Ayase coming with her other friends, Nakano. Sorry, spilling some tea. Okay, so and then Ayase was introducing Nakano to him, be like, "Hey, look, oh yeah, cool. Like this is the guy who's he's the agent for this." And they're like, "Oh, cool, okay." And then they both go to a car to go get dressed, and or I shouldn't say car. Okay, a van to get like dressed in the cosplay, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Get their makeup, whatever. Okay, they both get out. Ayase is still wearing her regular clothes. Guess who's wearing the cosplay? The other
Who?
friend.
Oh
The,
no.
the, the other friend, she's wearing she's fully decked out in the cosplay. She gets out, and she's like, "Wait, Ayase, why aren't you wearing anything?" Like, oh, I forgot. And like right after they both got out of the car, she told the driver, "Okay, leave, go, 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 go." Driver left, and then they left with the clothes and everything. So, you know, Nakano's just stuck there with cosplay, and she's like, "What the frick? I didn't sign up for this." And then Ayase was trying to convince her, like, "Oh no, you should just do it. It's for a cosplay event. Like, you already closed up and everything, and like the car already left, so you should just do it." And she was like, "Oh, I guess." And he's like, "Bruh, you're making your friend do this and not you? That's kind of messed up. You're using her friends." But anyways, um, then since she's not competing, Ayase and Kyosuke, they go out, you know, trying to watch Nakano do the competition, and guess who they find at the event or at the competition? Because they're, you know, they're spectators as well, like an audience.
Yeah.
Bam, Kirino, freaking right in the corner, yelling, "Oh
Oh.
my gosh, I can't wait for the cosplayers! Yo, PUBG!"
Oh no.
And she's like, "Oh, freak, she's here." And he's like, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna split up, so you get out of the way." And so he leaves, or she leaves, and then he goes and surprises Kirino. They're like, "Hey, Kirino," and she jumps out like It's like the exclamation point, surprised face from like Snape, like dun.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, that happened, and she freaking steps on him about to beat him up because she thinks she's like a pervert or trying like a creep, no, trying to molest her, and then she takes a look at him and like, oh, what are you doing here, brother? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just here because to support your friends. They're like, wait, what? And he's like, oh yeah, one of your friends is like doing a competition. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Wait, what? And he tries to like BS and be like, okay, here's a hat, cover your face so your friend doesn't like, you don't expose yourself to your friend. It's like, okay, whatever. Because Nakano doesn't know that Kirino is an otaku. I
Oh
suppose.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah, essentially. And here's the funny thing. So Kirino, before she was like, oh man, like before like she got spotted by these two, she's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could, I wish I could have cosplay with as them, but I fit none of the characters at all, so I can't do the cosplay. And both of them are like SMH. She wanted to cosplay. What the frick? Thank God she's not compatible, or she can't fit the archetype or the body type for the characters. My goodness. But anyways, didn't blah blah blah. It's a blah 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 warning blah blah blah. Okay, so Nakano. Here's the thing with her. She fits one of the characters so well that everyone was like, wait, is she the real life incarnation of the character? And to make it even like more on the dot or more on the point is she got up, she didn't say hi or explain some stuff, do some fancy tricks. No, she freaking sang the OP of the song like an idol, like a true standout idol, and it was crazy because it caught everyone off guard. It caught Ayase, Kyosuke, and Kirino all off guard, and they're like, how is this happening? So Nakano's gonna freaking win that easy money. And Kyosuke, and this is after the competition, Kyosuke goes into like the green room. So green room is essentially the room before you get onto the stage, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Essentially, like, yeah. It's like the room before the backstage, essentially. So he goes in, and Nakano's there, freaking saying, "Oh, like tacos are gross, yuck." And then there's the person who won like 2 years in a row, the previous winner. She does another character. She's really good, and she's crying, be like, "But how can you say it's gross? Like, didn't you see that all the people were freaking chanting for you? Didn't you have fun?" And she's like, "No, that's so gross. Ew, otakus." Like, and she goes away running, crying, and then Kyosuke is like, "Yo, you're really good. Like, did you like watch anime and stuff? Like, how do you know the song?" And then Nakano freaking starts flexing, like, "No, I never watched anime or anything, but I heard the song one time and I just memorized it, and I'm really good at singing. I want to become an idol." And he's like, "Oh well, maybe this could be your thing right here because they're freaking chanting for you and all that." And she's like, "Oh yeah, maybe. Like, I really love the feeling of being called cute and just being like, and all the eyes looking at me, even though it's kind of gross. I guess this could work." And he's like, "Alright, cool." But anyways, yeah, also the figure was in the trash, but Kyosuke took it out, gave it to Ayase. Ayase's like, "Poke Jam, let's go." And then, she goes...
The one-of-a-kind figure was in the garbage?
Yes, it was just top of the garbage can.
Of course, that's where you put a one-of-a-kind, probably priceless artifact.
Yeah. And then Kyosuke freaking and then Ayase freaking gives the thing to Kirino freaking pogs like, "Let's go, Pokemon, whatever." But here's the thing, Nakano, she's still here, just chilling, and she's like, "Yo, where's Ayase? Why isn't she coming here to get my clothes yet?" And she tries to go out in public and tries to get it, but she gets arrested or apprehended because here's the thing, it is illegal in Japan to go in public in cosplay, essentially. it is only allowed in like the venues or the event. So literally, if you want to cosplay something, you have to go to the event, you have to change your clothes, cosplay. After you finish, you have to change back to regular clothes and leave.
You don't actually go outside in the cosplay at all.
Yeah,
Just
you're
when
not
you're
allowed to.
on show, and then only on show, and after that you go back to regular clothes.
Yeah, or it's like kind of like a safe area. Like, oh, in this area you could cosplay, but like after, if you want to go out, then you can't wear this. Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah, all that work for one figurine.
Yeah. Alrighty. What's episode 11? Oh, this is just a lot of hijinks stuff. A lot of hijinks. I'm trying to see hijinks. Oh, okay. Hijinks is necessary. Eliminate her, and then I need to get the trio. Yeah, I'm trying to cut through all the BS. Not really. I'm talking through a lot of BS.
See through it.
Because the BS, some of the BS is fun. Some of it is not. Okay, so this is like a two-parter episode. So the first half of the episode, yeah, for first half of the episode, essentially it comes down to Minami coming over to Kyosuke's house. She finds his stash. You know what I'm talking about when I say his
Yeah,
stash, right?
the stash.
Yes. Some magos.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fashion magazines.
yes, fashion magazines. And here's the thing, they had a lot of glasses. I'll say, everyone wearing glasses. It's that kind of fashion magazines where all the models are wearing glasses. And then what's even worse is prior to that, to her coming to the house, he was playing an arrow game because Kirino was like, "No, go play this arrow game." And then the character, she got glasses, and he was getting to the part where said 3D model was about to do some non-safe for work stuff by taking off some stuff, let's say.
Yeah.
um,
It's summertime.
it's summertime, yeah.
It's warm.
So essentially, she finds his stash. He tries to like covers it up, and guess what? That decides to turn on. It's the laptop, and guess what character comes out? It's that character with said glasses saying Oni-chan. And she's over here being like, "So do you want me to call you Oni-chan for now?" And he's like, "Kill me now." But yes, that is the hijinks episode, hijinks part. But anyways, here's a real stuff now. Here's real good stuff. So, essentially, you see Kyosuke going to some sort of like party thing, and there's a reservation. He is going in saying like, "Oh, I'm Kyosuke. I'm here for the party," and then the person at the register is like, "Oh, okay, go to the room, whatever." But she gives him a dirty look, like a glance of like, a slight disgust, and he's like, "That's weird. Okay, that's odd. Whoever, who cares?" He goes, and before he enters the room, there's this huge banner that says, okay, hold on. Okay, that says this. It says Kyosuke's personal harem party.
Oh.
Bolded.
Declaring.
It's bolded. And he's here being like, what the frick is this? Like, who decided to do this? And again, the reception is looking at him, in disgust, and then she's like, oh shoot, he's looking at me, and freaking, hides essentially. And he's like, oh my goodness, ASMH. So what he does is like, he just opens up and goes into the room, and guess who's there? Sayori, she's there, but she's in a maid outfit, welcoming him, saying, "Master, welcome home." And he's caught off guard, like, "What the frick is this?" And then guess who else is in the maid outfit? Kirino. And she was like, well, or she was like, "Welcome home, master. Oh, yuck, ew. Why do I have to say master to my brother? Ew, so it doesn't feel right. And and he's even more confused, like, what is it? Like, what is going on? Why is my sister saying this to me? And there's the last guy. And guess what she is wearing? Just guess. Just guess what she was wearing.
Their outfit as well?
Oh yes. It is
Oh.
it is the same maid outfit. But here's the thing. Dude, it's so cute. Oh my goodness. So she's over here and the room has a curtain, right? And she is hiding behind the curtain, being all embarrassed and whatnot. And then Sayori's like, "Oh, come out, and Kuroneko," and then Kirino kind of forces her out, and then there she is in her outfit with the cat ears and the cat tail.
Is that why she has Neko in her name?
I think, yes.
I'm wondering.
Kirino's here pogging, but like, "Oh my god, you're so cute! Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're so cute! What the frick? I hate you, but holy crap, you're so cute!" And he's here blushing like, "Oh frick, dang, she's cute, yeah." But she doesn't. He doesn't say it out loud.
Listen.
She's blushing and whatnot, and Kirino's like, "How did you get this? Where did you get this?" And she's like, "Oh, I made it myself." And he's like, "Yo, Pog, champ!" And she's like, "Yo, I can make you one." She's like, "Yo, bet, Pog, yo, Poggers." And Sayori's like, "Okay, let's get the party started." And they're like, "Yeah!" And he's still confused, like, okay, whatever. And then essentially what happens, blah 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 blah, Kireya pogging all over her. Oh, I should have said pogging all over her instead. Okay, and essentially this party was for Kirino's like anime, or the release of her anime, launching, whatever. So, and then what happens is Sayori is like, "Okay, well, I made the reservations for this party and I made the cosplay, so my job is done here. Okay, it's your turn, Kuronaka, to present your thing that you prepared." And Kuronaka's like, "Alrighty," and she freaking hooks her freaking what is it called? Her laptop to an HDMI thing, so it's able to pop up on the like big screen on the projector. And then she says, I made a manga, a doujin manga, and essentially the manga is about Kirino and Kyosuke and what essentially happened. And it was pretty accurate to what happened, but it was like more lewd. And Kyosuke's like, yeah, emphasize. Kyosuke's like, "What the frick? Like, why is this so accurate? And why is it so freaking lewd?" and essentially it made Kirino like the pervert. Like, for instance, like she was sniffing her Oni-chan's pantsu and freaking digging into his like stuff to find his material, to find what he likes. That kind of stuff. It's just little sistery shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yes.
And then after that, Kirino is trying to prepare her thing, and then Kuroneko sits next to him, and and Kuroneko is trying to make Kirino kind of envious by calling him Nissan. Sit next to him and be like, "Okay, Oni-san," and he's poking a little, he's blushing and being like, "Oh my goodness, someone is calling me Oni-chan with this kind of cute outfit. Okay, Pog-chan." But he's not saying that out loud. He's just thinking it. And Kirino, from that, she gets really like, what is it? She gets pissed and freaking lashes out on him like, why are you freaking fooling around with this girl? Oh yeah, freaking Onisha, you're the worst. And then what happens? He gets super pissed, and he freaking lashes out on her, saying that he's been depressed and all that. And be like, freaking screw you. You know how much I have to do for you, like how much I've done for you, and like I've been really sad. I've been freaking depressed. Like lately, I've not been a happy boy. It has been sad boy hours for like the last few months because of everything that's happened. Oh my goodness. And she starts crying. Kirino starts crying and whatnot. These sorted in the sidelines like, oh frick, he shouldn't have said that. Oh frick. And then Kirino cries and like goes and apologizes to him, and gives him something, and gives him something, and starts being soon, whatever. And then after that, he's confused, like, what's happening? Why is she giving me something when it's her party? And then it's revealed. They say like, oh yeah, this party is technically for you because you've been such a good big Oni-chan. And he's like, oh, I see. And then Kirino comes with him and just talks about, like, really, really, have a heart-to-heart brother-sister conversation, saying how much she appreciates him and whatnot, and she really haven't done it without him. And then he starts crying like a little bit, and then he's like, oh my goodness, what the frick, I felt appreciated. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you appreciate me this much. Like, oh my gosh, like I was freaking out. I was like, getting interest. I can't believe you're just doing this for me. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so honored. And she's like, you better be. Oh yeah. And then after, she gives him the present, right? Or he opens a present, and the present is just another arrow game.
Oh.
These two are like SMH. What the frick? Why are you giving him this present? What the frick? And then essentially, he laughs and be like, Lamau, head pat to the little sister, and then while she's receiving the head pat, she's like, ooh, blush, and then being a Cinderella, be like, get your hands off me, freaking, and you know that she liked it a lot, like a lot. Alrighty, this is episode 12. Okay. Now, this is where I kind of have to clarify some stuff. There is technically 2 timelines in what happened.
Oh.
You weren't expecting that, weren't you?
No.
Okay. So, technically, yes, there's 2 timelines of, like, things that happen. However, I'm not... I'll explain both, but there's like a quote-unquote like good one, and then there's like the real, like, okay, there's the real ending, and then there's the good ending. But in all honesty, I'm gonna go with the true ending.
Okay.
Because the reason why I say that is there's a lot of stuff that happens in season 2 which doesn't make a lot of sense if you go with the with a good ending.
Oh, so it's easier to explain for the true one?
Yeah, it would be easier to go with the true one. So essentially, this stuff isn't too much, so I'll go through this pretty quickly. So essentially, what happens, TLDR, for this, keep it short, is she becomes very nice, Kirino becomes very nice to Kyosuke, and Kyosuke is like, it's kind of sussy. This is really sus. Like, why is my little sister being, like, so kind to me? Because, okay, so what happened, like, one thing that happens is that they both bump into each other, And instead of her like freaking blowing up and being like, "Ew, gross! Slap, slap! Get away from me, Oni-chan!"
The usual.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, sorry, Oni-chan. Oh, thanks. By the way." And he's like, "Huh? Huh?" You know, like the Jackie Chan face where it's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
He
The hand on the
essentially,
head, right?
yeah, he made that. Like, I wish I could like drew that ahead of time. It would have been so great. But essentially, that was his face the whole time. His whole interactions, these small things that happen.
He's probably like, "What's up, too? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening?"
And then essentially, Kirino asked him to come to his room, right, in a nice manner, and he's still like, "What's happening?" And essentially, she gives him puppy eye, the puppy dog eyes. Be like, "Hey, Oni-chan, can you do me this one favor? As my last life counseling help?" He's like, sure." And she's like, "Can you give me this eroge?" And he's like, "Bruh, that's why. What the frick?" And then she was explaining that it was a new release game and it was going to be released at midnight. And there's like no way her parents are gonna go and let her get the game or not. So that's why she let him do it. So he's like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So he goes get the eroge, and then the interesting thing that happened is that he calls his friend, and essentially the reason why he calls his friend and whatnot is to be sure that no one finds out that he's out buying eroge, because everyone's under the impression, or his parents at least, is that his friend is going over to, or he's going to over to his friend's house to sleep over and then coming back the next day. But he's not. He's buying eroge. So the friend doesn't know that he's buying eroge. He's like, "All right." But the friend thought that he was gonna gun for Minami, Minami, which is his childhood friend, because he thought, "Yo, you're gonna go for that tail? Okay, yo, go get some." And he was like, "Bro, that's not happening, fam. What are you talking about?" But yeah, he sees in line. Guess who he expects to at freaking also buy eroge at midnight? It's that same exact friend that he just called. Same exact. They're both shell shocked. They're like, "Why?" Like, it's the Spider-Man meme. They point at each other like, "What are you?" Instead of saying, "I'm the Spider-Man," they're like, "What are you doing here?" That same intensity. And then they're both explaining that they're getting eroges, and essentially there's this like understanding between them, like, we are not here buying eroges. We did not see each other at this place at midnight. And then there's like this intense music comes up, and then it's like they're blood brothers. They're like, "We understand each other. That we don't. This was meant to be. We do not speak about this. This never happened, right?" And then what happens is like the vendors are like, "Oh, the no homo erotica visual novel is now out for sale." And then you see all these flock of girls changing lines and going to that, right? Because there's two games selling. It's the homoerotic one, and then the other one is the little sister eroge, right?
Yeah.
And guess who gets excited about that? Just guess.
Sister? Or no, is the brother.
It's not Kyosuke. It's Kyosuke's friend.
Oh.
He gets very excited. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's me. Time to go."
He's excited.
No. But here's the thing. When they're like saying, "Oh my gosh, you're blood brothers," right? They're holding hands. Like it's like the super intense like bulgy arms where there's two guys like grabbing each other's hands like in agreement with like full force, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly them at this moment. And then
Strongest bond in history.
Bond in history, right? And when he heard that, uh, the friend, he paused. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's my cue to go." And then Kyosuke is like, he he freaks the frick out. He freaking jumps back and be like, "Get away from me, you fiend!" Because he thought that his friend was into BL.
Oh.
Yeah, like why else would you'd be like, "Fuck jam, let's go, time to play my time to get that homoerotic eroge." Like why else, Then he had to like explain, okay, brother, hear me out. This game is for my little sister. And what happened? He starts telling him off. He's like, "I can't believe you're out here in midnight buying freaking your little sister, who's still in middle school, a freaking eroge that's freaking R-rated 18." And like, he pops off, right? He's telling him off. And after like 30 seconds, he's like, "Oh, never mind." And he's like, "No, you're still my brother." And he's like confused. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Because he's doing the exact same thing. He's doing the exact same thing, going out in midnight and buying his little sister an eroge. Like,
Just for sister.
wait, what?
Just for sister.
Yes, both of them are doing this for their little sisters. Both of them.
Mutual bonding.
Anyways, so Kyosuke, he goes back home, gets the eroge to Kirino. Kirino's like, "Oh, cool. Hey, you wanna stay and play the eroge with me?" He's like, "Okay, sure." They play it, and he's like, "Okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna go." And Kirino tries to block the door and be like, "Oh, wait, Oni-chan, there's something I haven't told you." And he's like, what? Essentially, she has an album. She tries to show him, and he's like, "Oh, no, actually, never mind. I'm not gonna show you." He's like, "What the frick, SMH?" He grabs the album, and then something falls out of the album. And essentially, what it is, it's like a ticket, and the ticket is for the USA. One trip. And he picks it up, and he's like, "What is this? What is this?" And then she's like, "Okay, the cat's out of the bag." And then she explains how she's going to the US for a good amount of time to train for track and become a better runner.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
he's
'cause
like,
she did sports and things.
yeah. So he's like, "What? Like, you never told me this. Like, how could you never told me this? Your freaking brother." And then she gets freaking, she gets pissed. Like, "Oh, freaking, I'm gonna go to America. This is just journey. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm going tomorrow." And he's like, "Bruh, tomorrow? What the frick?" Like, it was really sudden news to him. And he gets really pissed and whatever. And then she gets pissed and whatever. They don't talk. Oh yeah, but they get pissed whatever. And she's like, "Here, take this eroge. Play this and keep this for my sake. Play it because we can't play for a while." And then she goes off to America.
When you play this game, think of me. Not that way.
Okay, not exactly that, but kind of, yes. And okay, so she's out of the picture for a bit, and it's a new school year, so Kyosuke's walking, right? He's walking to school, whatever, with Minami, Minase, whatever her name is, child of friend. And then he sees Kuroneko walking by with his school uniform. He freaking stops her and be like, "Kuroneko?" And he's like, "Yes, senpai," and cuts.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, episode 14. Alright, so this, like, these after episodes, these are like the OVAs essentially, but you actually need to watch the OVA to understand the whole thing, so that's why I'm going through them. Anyways, let's get through it, shall we? So, they interact with as Kohai and Senpai, lol, and then, and later on, he's like, oh yeah, what is her name? So he went and asked her, and essentially, she says her real name is Go Go Gokorui. And bro, when she revealed it, it was cute AF, dude. Not even capping. Anyways, regardless of what I what I think, and when they're interacting, they're in Kyosuke's room. It was Rui or Kuroneko, and it was Sayori. They all in the same room, just chilling. They're just talking about, how they're kind of sad boy hours because Kirino didn't really tell anyone that she's going to America for track.
Oh yeah.
It's sad boy hours. The only people that really knew were her parents. But yeah, it was like it
And
was
then their
sad.
brother. No.
Yeah, they're brothers. So sad boy hours. And yeah, Sayori being real, like showing herself, being kind of sad without her. And then essentially he says, you know what? Screw her. Let's go out and freaking make her jealous. Send her pictures of how much fun we're having. And they're like, yeah. So they go out, do that, whatever. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So essentially, it's going back to like the school scene, and Kuroneko greets him, be like, "Hey, yo, what's up? Okay, I'm gonna go home. Bye." And then he's like, "Hey, yo, stop! Hey, I want to talk. Let's do some stuff as friends or whatever." But Kuroneko's peers come up and they're like, "Hey, you wanna go karaoke?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to." But Minami, she's here. Oh, I should get her picture out. But yeah, Minami is right here, saying, "Oh, sorry guys, like, we asked her out for something," and they're like, "Oh, okay." And then Kuroneko's pissed. She's like, "Bruh, okay, whatever." So what they do is she gives in and be like, "Okay, I'll hang out with y'all too, whatever." So they go around, they look at clubs, and Kyosuke is the one who kind of recommended, "Hey, let's go and look at the different clubs there are." So you're able to get acclimated to society. Not he didn't say that, but you're able to make friends. Essentially, he's goes around. Hey, they go look at the gaming one, the gaming club one, research whatever. And then there's this other guy, I forgot his name. It's irrelevant, but he's essentially said, "Oh yeah, the game is really hard. So what we could do is, if you want to play the game, you can play it on easy mode." And then Kyosuke is like, "Oh, she'll be good. She's pretty good at games." He's like, "Oh really? Okay, sure. But you should probably play it at easy mode." Kuroneko goes into freaking hard mode, destroys the game without a doubt, with like no sweat. The guy right here, he's like appalled. He's like, "What the frick? How? This girl is a game girl. She needs to be in our club." And she's like, "No, I don't care much about this game. This game is kind of trash. Okay, bye, wee." And then Kyosuke is apologizing to the guy. He's like, "I'm sorry. She's kind of like that." And then essentially what happens, or cut. And essentially what happens is Kyosuke, he's looking out for his Kohai, whatever, every so often. And then he always sees her being antisocial, being alone, whatnot. And he's like, "Bruh, okay, I need to do something about this." So the squad meets up again in his room. And then he's kind of voicing his concerns for Kuroneko and be like, "Hey yo, Kuroneko, aren't you being a little bit kind of antisocial? Like, shouldn't you get some friends at school and whatnot?" And she's like, "Bruh." And then also Kyosuke goes like, "Yeah, you should try to make friends. Like, you two have been like spending a lot of time in my room, like just y'all two. It's kind of weird. And then and then Sayori right here, you know, being the real G that she is, she freaking exposes Kuroneko saying that, hey, you know why she's being like this? Like, Kuroneko is probably thinking, I'd rather be with you than go out with my classmates. And then she blushes, and then freaking throws a pillow at his face, saying like, that's not the case. But here's the thing. Remember, they're in his room, and Kuroneko, you know, she was like, she was holding his pillow up to her face and whatnot, being all cutesy, and throws it at his face. And then Sayori keeps exposing them, and then she's like, oh, Kyosuke is probably thinking, I'll show my, wait, hold on. I'll show my cute kohai how cool I am. Then she'll pay me back with sexual favors while groping her breast, you know, trying to really accentuate it.
Normal thing.
Yeah, no other things. And then, you know, both Kuroneko and Kyosuke, they're both bulging. They're blushing so hard. They're like roses. Oh, Lamau. And then he just comes up and be like, you know what? Like, I like it. He kind of explains himself, being like, okay, like, I want her to like have friends. I worry for her, but I can't not say that I have ulterior motives. Like saying like, dude, I really like when she calls me senpai though. Holy freaking, it really gets me going on. You know, the regular things. But the primary thing is saying, I want my friends to be happy. And then cut. They both go to the, go to the research game club because he's like, hey, you should go do this. She's like, ah, fine, whatever. And then they talk about, they go to the club, they talk to the president, whatnot, you know, more high school hijinks. Okay, who cares about that? And then, cut. And then Kuroneko, she's on cleaning duty. So here's the thing about Japan is that they don't have any janitors for a lot of places. It's just mostly people there, either at the school or at the workplace. They clean, or they take turns like cleaning. So
It's just like an extra activity. Almost.
Yeah, essentially. So it's her turn doing cleaning some places, and you know she's doing it alone. So Kyosuke is like, hey yo, how about if I help you? And you know she freaking snaps at him. They're like, I don't want your help. Yuck. And pretty much she's saying like, SMH, you're just using me as a replacement for Kirino because you can't be her big brother and you can't help her anymore. And he's like, bruh, SMH, like, he's hurt. He's actually hurt from it. And then he goes and he calls Sayori. Sayori talks to him and be like, yeah, like, you need to take it easy, you know, you could just go talk to her a little bit, you know, she's kind of, like, emotionally charged, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, alrighty.
Help her out.
Yeah, help her out, whatever. And then Kuroneko, she's like essentially turning everything down. Like if her friend says, hey, you want to go out and eat and whatever, and whatnot. And then all of that. And then Sayori, again, they're still on like the phone call, and like, oh, she's probably doing that because, you know, she doesn't want to lose time with us. Because if she takes these other things, you know, she'll lose time with us. Like, yeah, understandable, whatever. Oh yeah, and then cut. These two, they go to the welcome party to the club. Then that's irrelevant. Blah 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 blah. A whole bunch of hijinks happens. Oh yeah, and essentially, remember the friend, Kyosuke's friend I talked about? He was like, who was buying the eroge for?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she's also in the gaming club, and she goes wild. She goes ballistic. about some stuff, which is really unimportant. And essentially, the only way to calm her down was to get her Oni-chan. And the Oni-chan needed to calm her down. And you know how he essentially calmed her down by saying, "It's okay, my Emoto. You're the best Emoto. Whatever." And Kyosuke right here is like, "Bruh, you're sick. You're a sick F, dude." Saying this to your little sister. But, you know, little sister's being all cutesy, being like, "Oh, okay, Oni-chan, alrighty." Like, being all cutesy and whatnot about it. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then after that, that's irrelevant, but here's the important part. So after the party, whatever, he and Kurenaka has a heart-to-heart, and then he pretty much saying that he is like really lonely without his Miyoto and whatnot, but he says you're not her replacement. Like I worry for you and whatnot. And like the key thing is like, hey, I'm not calling you. I don't want you to call me Oni-chan. I just want you to call me senpai, and to really just insinuate that she's not a replacement and whatnot. And you know, Kuroneko right here, being the tsundere that she is, she's like, "Okay, I gave up. I gave up." You know, like throwing her hands up, saying, "I gave up." But you know, in a little voice, and dude, it was very, very PogChamp. Let me tell you. Anyways, that is episode 14? Episode 15. Okay, essentially episode 15 is gaming club. They try to make a game, blah blah blah, who cares? Essentially, the most important part is that these two spend a lot of time with each other alone while making the game. Like for instance, they laid on his bed while making the game. It was very PogChamp. And she asked him, and one of the things she asked is, "Hey, what do you want me to call you, senpai or Nichan Iwu?" And he's like, "Oh, just call me senpai. I already told you this last time."
Yeah.
And you know what she says?
What?
She says, "Senpai, when we're alone, I'll just call you Oni-chan, okay? Just when it's just the two of us."
What?
And he starts pogging all over. Not really. I was pogging all over. Wait, what? No. Anyways, regardless. And after that, freaking, they make the game, blah blah, woohoo, yahoo! They make the game, whatever. Okay, episode 16. Finally, the last episode of season 1.
Oh.
Okay, so essentially, most important part is Kyosuke. He freaking gets an email from Kirino, like out of nowhere, right? And it says, "Throw away the game that I gave you before I left. I don't need it anymore." And he's like, "Nani the frick? Why is this happening?" He was like so confusey, conspoozy, right? So he pretty much calls Ayase, you know, Kirino's best friend. He calls her and pretty much she blocked his number. He's like, "Wait, why can't I contact her? Frick, at an important like time at this." And Minase, whatever her name is, she's like, "Oh, I have her number." And he's like, "What the frick? How do you have her number?" She's like, "Oh yeah, we exchanged numbers while like hee." He's like, "Okay." So she used her phone, called her, and she's like, "What the frick? What are you doing? I blocked your number." He's like, "Why are you blocking my number? When?" She's like, "Oh, like 6 months ago." He's like, "That long? What the frick?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." Anyways, they had a serious conversation about Kirino sending at him, asking her like, "Oh, did Kirino contact you?" Blah blah blah. And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Hey, if anything happens, she's just gonna probably text her Oni-chan first rather than her best friend." He's like, "Aight." But anyways, here's the thing. Kuroneko actually, oh, she's not needed anymore. So Kuroneko, she freaking messaged Kyosuke before he got the message from Kirino, saying, "Meet me behind the school once school is done." You know? Wait. Do you know the anime trope, Azu?
Great fortune.
So when if someone sends you a letter or tells you, "Hey, yo, let's meet after school behind the school."
Oh yeah,
So so
that usually means something else.
uh
Something wholesome, obviously.
yes, of course. Okay, yes. Okay, you got it. I just wanted to be sure. um. So yeah. So after he talks to ISC, he comes to Kuroneko. He looks like he has bag under his eyes. It's a hitter, like freaking triple bags, dude. Triple bags. It's pretty bad. Kuroneko sees him and she's like, "Yo, did you freaking see death or whatever?" And then they talk, right? They talking.
Mhm.
They talking to each other, and then Kuroneko, she low-key confesses. Low-key.
Oh, like hints at it, but doesn't
Ki-
actually say it.
Yeah, essentially. Hints like so hard. It is so hard, right? And she asks him, "So, Oni-san, what are you gonna do about it?" He says, "I'm gonna go see my little sister, baby."
Goodbye.
I'm gonna go and see my little sister. Because, okay, she was consoling him about the whole Kirino thing going to America and her message. But during that, she confessed to him. Feels like a underline, "I confess, but here's some advice to you as well," type of thing.
Mhm.
He didn't get the hint about, she confessing to him. He was more focused on his little sister. So he says, "I'm gonna go see my little sister, yeah." And she's
Ooh.
like, "Okay, TXT." And again, she plays it off, right? Because she's a tsundere.
Yeah.
And this is the most Bokjem thing ever. He's walking away, and then she runs up behind and gives him a little kiss, baby,
Oh.
on the cheek, of course.
Yes.
She's bogging, she's blushing hard, she's going ooh all over the place, but she's not saying it. She's she's thinking it, and she pretty much says, "Go get him, tiger. Go get Kyoto." He's like, "Let's go." Essentially, he goes home and he sees his father getting all riled up, being like, "I'm going to America. I'm going to America." And essentially, what happened is Kirino also sent her parents a very similar text saying, "Get rid of all my trophies for running competitions."
Okay.
So something is up, and she only messaged her family about it. So again, it had a very similar message, but the writing for it, or how the text for it, is different.
Oh yeah.
So the father says, "Kyosuke, what do you want to do about it?" And Kyosuke said, "I'll go to America." Father says, "Hex, yeah you are," and literally cuts to him being on the plane to America.
Oh. How's that?
So okay,
That's such,
uh
such difficult, like, convincing.
huh. you know, the father. He was pretty antagonistic at the beginning, but now he's old tsundere father, just doing whatever he can.
Mhm.
But anyways, he goes to America. knocks on her dorm. She's like, "What are you doing here, step bro? I mean, brother." Sorry, my tongue is slipping a lot. But anyways, he comes like, "Oh, dude, everyone's freaking missed you and
Force habit.
whatnot." Yeah, force the habit. And uh, essentially, she's like, "Okay, so what are you doing here, step bro?" And he's nonchalantly says, "To play aero games with my little sister. What terrorist?" So they go inside, and then they play air games. And then, they're just talking, they're chatting. And then she's saying that she can't play Aerogo. She got like all the air games downloaded, whatever. But she can't play because her roommate is like younger than her, and she's like precious and be like, "Oh, I can't freaking destroy a maiden's innocence, you know?" And he's like, "Right, right, whatever you
Of
say."
course.
um, and then after that, they're having a heart to heart, and then he asks the question like, "Hey, why did you send me that weird message?" And then she starts crying, which is a bro moment. She starts crying, and essentially she says she doesn't want to depend on others, and that she wants to win and to beat a person before she comes back, but she hasn't been able to because she isn't as good as she wants to, because of her pride and whatnot. Um, and she's being like, it's like understandable, like, right, like you want to show your worth for something that you're doing, whatnot. And guess what the brother says? Just guess. Uh-huh.
What did he say?
He says, "Screw all of that. Come back to Japan with me. You're my little sister, so you have to listen to me."
You have dreams? No.
And then they start arguing back and forth, right? And pretty much, his grandiose statement is, "I am so lonely without you. I could die if you're not there with me."
Oh.
And he keeps going on saying, "You don't have to win anything, okay? You don't need to be special. You know why? Because you're my little sister."
Hmm.
And okay. And he ends it with this. He ends it with, "If you don't come back home, then I will die." In the most serious voice possible.
This man needs help.
He does this while crying. He's bawling his out. He's crying his eyes out and declaring this. I have to compose myself.
We need a second after that.
I need a quick second to just. So essentially, she comes back to Japan with him, and guess
She gave in and went.
yes, and guess who's there to greet them at the airport?
Friends.
Kuroneko. Just Kuroneko. And they're being themselves again, being freaking tsunderes to each other, being like, "Well, I'm glad you're here to." Wow. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you missed me this much. They had to run out of here, and you lost your breath." And she gets a stab at her, like, "Why? What? Did you even win when you went there?" And she's like, "Yeah, I only went once." And they're going bickering, whatever. And then
Yeah.
I'll go to Akihabara right after.
That was the whole like weed area, right?
Yeah. And
Whatever, we go
Kyosuke,
shopping.
yeah, and Kyosuke is like, "Bruh, like, father's supposed to pick us up." They're like, "Who cares? I didn't come back to Japan to see my parents. I'm here to freaking go to Akihabara." But yeah, and then cut. That is season 1.
Oh,
So okay. So what are your thoughts so far as I drink some water and rest my voice a little? What are your thoughts so far on
if
season 1?
the whole, if you could even call it a love triangle at this point, is his forms. I don't even know what shape that would take on it with the amount of things that have happened.
Well, let me tell you, you're in for a treat because if you thought that was crazy, oh man, it gets wilder.
Wait, so what? How long is season 1, season 2?
So season 1,
Because season 1 is 16
yeah, season 1
episodes?
is 16 episodes and season 2 is also 16 episodes, but don't worry, I cut out a lot of the BS.
Okay. So season 1 more
Okay,
interesting in that sense?
no, okay, here's the thing. Season 1 is more of like the basis of what happens. Like, okay, here's the groundwork of everything you need to know. And
Okay.
season 2 is when everything starts to ramp up.
Let's kind of
Especially,
just start there.
so what I want to kind of do, kind of want to blast through like the first few episodes, and then take my time on the last few episodes because that is where stuff hits the fan, and I think that is where we're gonna be. It's gonna be less of me just speaking the whole time and more of you just reacting and asking questions.
Okay. Because it's much more like a lot of stuff I've heard already, so it's just storyline now.
Kind of, yeah,
Like we're past the character introductions and everything.
yeah,
And we have the baseline of how everyone feels about each other.
yeah. How people are, whatever. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. That's not important. Okay. Essentially, Kirino comes back, because she transferred out of school and whatnot. All her friends, she didn't really tell anyone this except for her family. So she goes back to school. She apologizes. Be like, okay. She tells all her friends, oh yeah, I'm gonna. Sorry guys about that. It was kind of sudden. I am gonna stay for sure now. Don't worry. Whatever. And then, Kyosuke. There's Kyosuke and then Kuroneko. Because, you know what happened before they went to America and whatnot, and, he's still thinking about it. He's like, what did that kiss mean? Like, does she like me or something? And, he's about to ask him what happened, but, Kuroneko kind of acting cold toward him, more
Yeah.
than usual. But then, when he is about to ask about the kiss, she starts to blush and being all ooh woo stuff, and then, bruh, it's like, it's so cute. Holy frig, it is so cute. She's about to answer, but then one of the club members, okay, because they're in the research gaming room club, someone just barged in, interrupt them, and then nothing comes of it, and you're like, bruh, why did you have to ruin this?
It could
Why?
have been so much better.
Yeah,
It's probably like that's always the worst when you get like those kind of things where it's like something's about to happen, but then it's a cliche. Oh, someone came in. Sorry.
yeah. um, and yeah, but here's one of the things Kuroneko said though, like prior, she's like, I love you as much as your sister loves you. So, he's thinking about this. He freaking calls Kirino on the phone, and she's like, "What? What do you want, brother?" And he's like, "So, how much do you love me?" And she's like, "What the frick? That's sick. Brother. That's such a sick thing to ask. Ew, gross." She hangs up. He's like, "Oh, I see."
And the call.
and end
Oh,
the call. Okay. Blah blah blah. and that happens. Okay, I'm cutting out a lot of stuff what happens because a lot of stuff is irrelevant. Okay, episode 2, essentially, okay, episode is fun. Even though it's not too important to the story, I think it's pretty fun. So, Ayase pretty much, Ayase, Kirino's best friend, she calls him. She wants to talk to him because essentially she goes to him saying, "Okay, I think Kirino has a problem." And he's like, okay. And she's like, "Oh, okay, so lately, like when we've been talking, she's been like pogging all the time when she has this handheld device, and it seems like she's talking to like a V2 or something." So um, essentially, Kirino was playing a game where there's a character and she interacts with you with her voice, and she has a 3D model and everything,
Okay.
like a virtual girlfriend sort of thing.
Dating sim.
Yeah. And he's like, "Alright, I'll talk to my little sister. I'll talk to Kirino." So he goes, he talks to Kirino, and then Kirino explains, "Yo, this is such a popular game. Here, you should go play it." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then like 2 days later, he's in love with the game, in love with the fictional girl. And okay, here's the icing on the cake. The
Uh-huh.
character's name in the video game, her name is Ayaka. I'm not even capping. Her name is Ayaka.
Did you like the game too?
Oh yes, of course. Oh, no. Okay. Let me explain this to you. Ayasa's voice actor is the same voice actor as Ayaka. Not even
Really?
capping. Yes. Not even capping. So when I saw that, I was like, wait a
Like,
minute.
is that like no? Is that like a massive coincidence then?
Yes, it's a massive coincidence.
Jeez.
But it is funny AF, dude.
Wait, in which language?
Japanese.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. But here's the thing. Um, Ayaka, the person in the game, not from Genshin Impact, but person in the game, she has the same aesthetics and very similar voice as Ayase.
So it's a hint like, hey, like this person's basically this person.
Yeah, essentially. But what happens, he fell in love with the game. He's saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Oh my goodness," to the game. And guess who walks in when he's playing the game? Not his
Is it
sister.
I say?
No, not Icy. It's her. Childhood friend. Minami. And
Oh,
she's like, "You got the deep end now."
what are you doing? Oh,
And she's gonna be like, "What are you gonna do about it? Tell my mom? You're not my mom. My mom freaking knows that I watch not wholesome things. She already knows." And she's like, "Bet." Next thing, I say freaking calling me like, "Oh my gosh, Anissa, like, what the frick? You're addicted to the game too? I can't believe it. Yuck! Ew!" And he tries to like smooth talk his way out of it, being like,
mhm.
"I say, you know why I'm playing the game?" And she's like, "No, because you're freaking big pervert." And he's like, "No, you don't understand. I'm doing this for you." And she's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yes, I am doing extensive research on this character, so I could see what Kirino likes." She's like, "Okay." And then he explains how they have similar voices and similar character design, and he's trying to justify how she likes the character because she reminds her of like Ayase a lot. And she's,
Yeah,
she's pushing X to doubt hard. Be like, "There's no way." So, what he does is he invites her, um, to come over to his house and whatever, right? To explain the game. And then while he's doing so, he's like touching the game console, and then Ayaka is reacting like, "Oh my gosh, oh!" And she's right here with him all saying all that about how like they have very similar like voices and look the same. She's like, "Oh my
mhm.
gosh." this pervert. Freaking hentai, ew! I can't believe you're trying to fantasize about me through this game. Oh my gosh, freaking slaps him, freaking kicks him, does everything, right? And then she pretty much calls him a sexual deviant, right?
Oh.
You know what he says?
What?
I'm not a sexual deviant. The only person that I was sexually harassed is you.
Huh? He just said that.
Yes. Just her, no one else.
Because that makes it better, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, I've singled you out specifically.
Yes. And then through this, he's explaining that Aika is his girlfriend now, or the girl in the game, while saying all this, adding oil to the fire,
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, he tries to convince her, hey, you should play this game and have similar characteristics as Ayaka, so you can capture Kirino's heart. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll try. So essentially, what happens is she would try it. So she would play like a scene, and the character, like Ayaka, would say, oh, Kyosuke, because that's his name. Oh, Kyosuke, I lose so much. Oh my goodness, it's so embarrassing. I can't really say this, but I like you. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayase is like super embarrassed, and she tries to says it, right. She's like, oh, yeah. I'm so embarrassed, but I like, and then she breaks character and freaking like she cringes. She like beats him up. They're like, this is so stupid, yeah. And then she leaves, right, after beating him up. And then she goes to Minase's house and be like, oh my gosh, what did I do? One-san, like, what did I do in this situation? And she's like, well? And then she took the game and everything. And then they both thought maybe they should both play the game. And see how it goes, right? And this is what happens next. Is that next day, Kyosuke comes walking out of his house, right? Walking in the house. Minase is there. And she's like, hello, Kyo-kun. And she's acting like the character, Ayaka, from the game. And then he's like, yo, this is kind of creepy. And she's not voguing anymore. She's like, oh, dang it. I'm trying to act like the character in the game. He's like, oh, that's why it's so cringy. And she pulls him to the side because she sees Ayase coming walking to go grab Kirino, to go to school together.
Yeah.
And then she interacts with Kirino, and then she acts just like the character Ayaka, right? Acting all cutesy and whatnot. But here's the catch. So the character Ayaka, she has different modes. There's Dere, there's Tsundere, and then there's Yandere. You know what a yandere is, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, essentially, Ayase picked the yandere route. So, she ended up saying to Kirino, let's go and kill your brother, shall we? Since he's this big deviant. So it would just be you and me forever and ever and ever. In a very creepily manner.
Yeah.
And then Kirino's like, yo, you're kind of creepy. And she backtracks. And she gets getting closer, and with the crazy eyes. And then when she says, you're being creepy, she runs away and crying like, I can't believe it's happening. And she runs after her friend like, oh That is absolutely useless to the story, but I just had to tell that. It was a good filler episode. I must say so myself.
I see. Wait, which episode was that?
This is episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah, episode
Oh,
1.
season 2.
Yeah, season 2. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll speed run through this. Okay, episode 3 is a kind of filler, but it's more of a backstory of Sayori. So here's the thing
Oh yeah,
about
because they haven't talked about her much.
yeah.
I got introduced and that was it.
Okay, here's the thing about Sayori. She is she's like legit and Ojiosama, like a rich girl.
Oh.
Like okay. Oh wait, I'm not sharing my screens. Oh shoot. Oh, I just recognized this. Oops, that is my V.
That's okay.
Okay. Oh man. Okay, so this is this is her picture, but this is her picture without her outfit. Or I mean, let me get a better this or this.
Oh, that is entirely different.
Hold on. This copy image or this. Completely different, right?
Yeah. Doesn't look like the same person.
Yeah, so this is her like her real like IRL self. She's really prim and proper.
McRich.
Yeah, rich. She got that money. She's fully
Even the
stacked.
clothing style looks more high end.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like super bougie. So anyways, so essentially what happens, it's her backstory in how she became an otaku. Essentially, she's a rich girl. She was very timid and very not outspoken and very shy, right? But her
Yeah.
sister, on the other hand, her sister's like she's wild. Her sister is wild, let's say. And essentially, her sister introduced Sayori to her friends, and then her friends are also otakus, and eventually she becomes an otaku by like interacting with her friends, and they like brought the otaku-ness out of her and whatnot. But her sister got married. The friend group kind of broke up because she was kind of like the sister was the key thing. And like the sister's like, bruh, like Sayori goes to the sister like, bruh, you getting married, like you kind of like broke up the fan group and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the sister's like, bruh, freaking pair of balls, freaking, you did nothing for the group. Go and like, if you want friends and whatnot, if you want like a strong friend group, like make your own friend group. She's like, okay, whatever, bet. So that's when she starts try to think on how to do it. And then Sayori's sister's friend, the thing is like she's the primary influencer of her, and then the thing with her friend is that, let's call her the person who gave her her otaku-ness, let's call her M. So M influenced her a lot, but M had these glasses, right? And these glasses, she pretty much explained that the glasses were the source of her power. And then she like passed it down to her saying, I believe in your otaku-ness. Wear these glasses to give you hope, to give you that power. And then once you're
Weird
done with
power,
it,
but perfect.
yeah, essentially. And then once you don't need these glasses anymore, pass it on to the next generation.
Your family heritage.
Yeah. um. So yeah. So Sayori, she started, trying to make these friend groups and whatnot. And the first thing she does, she orders her clothes, her otaku clothes, not her prim and proper self and whatnot. It's pretty funny,
Oh yeah.
the whole montage. But yeah, that's her background story. Um, that just explains. Oh yeah, she's a what? Oji Osama. Okay, episode 4. Not really important. TLDR is there is a character named Ria. She she comes from America. She was Kirino's roommate, who's really
Okay.
really fast. And essentially, she just came to America to just visit, see how it is, and then they get through like a lot of hijinks kind of stuff. Ria, she tries to steal Kyosuke, calling her Oni-chan, whatnot. And Kirino's like, bruh, stay away from her, blah blah blah. And yeah, whatever. But the important,
Everyone.
yeah, who cares about that stuff? And Kirino kind of, she gets a little, just a wee bit jealous, that's to be expected, whatnot. But okay, here's the important part, right? At the very end of that episode, the reason why I had to I didn't skip any of that or skip this part. At the very end, after Ria leaves, Kirino asks her brother, "Hey, could you be my boyfriend?"
Oh. No, no,
And
no,
it
no,
cuts. And it cuts. That's the end of episode 4.
Bryce.
Now, okay. Here's the thing. Now, I watched this while it was airing. So, just imagine what the whole anime community was thinking when this happened. Imagine if it ended on that note, and you have to wait a whole week before watching the next episode to see what happened.
I would. People. I do. I don't know. There'd probably be a lot of chaos in that whole fandom.
But it's okay. I'm not gonna make you wait a whole week. I'm just gonna tell you now. And she's like, "Oh." She goes to him, "A pretend boyfriend," and he's like, "Oh, I see." um, and the whole reason why is because her agent essentially was telling Kirino to go overseas and do modeling overseas, but she didn't
Okay.
want to go overseas because the whole tobacco of her Oni-chan almost is dying without her, but also her friends and not being able to live in Japan and do a whole bunch of weedy stuff. So she tries to tell the executive, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend. That's why I can't, and he doesn't want me to leave." So they go together, and he's acting like her boyfriend, trying to convince her, "Oh yeah, I don't want to break up." And the executives tries to buy him out, be like, "I'll pay you good money if you do." And he's like, "Wait, seriously?" And Kirino freaking elbows him, be like, "Shut up, come on, chill." Oh, whatever. And he plays it up. He's saying like, "I love my sister so much." And he really plays it up, putting his arm around her, being like, "Oh, we're going on a date tomorrow, aren't we, honey?" Really playing it out. And essentially, because he really played it out, they actually had to go on a date the next day
Oh.
because the executive, whatever thingamajigger, she
One proof.
yeah, essentially, they're they sent spies to watch them. So
Oh.
they're going around acting like a couple, and then they encounter many people. Many people.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people. For instance, like Kuroneko. Oh man, they encountered Kuroneko. They encountered Kanako, one of her friends. Like, dude, like,
Everybody and
just
more.
yeah, Minami. Oh man, a lot. Lol. Um, and they even went to the those like super kawaii like photo booths where you're able to do poses and then you're able to design it. They come
Oh
out
yeah,
and
yeah.
they did that as well to really
You're like the
really
most
show it.
stereotypical
Yeah.
anime date.
Oh yeah. And then blah blah blah. Okay, and then that ends it there. And then afterwards, okay, and then it cuts. And then Kyosuke, he's walking with Kuroneko, right? And then he is kind of explaining the whole situation to Kuroneko because prior she really thought they were dating, so she was giving him the cold shoulder. Because again, they haven't clarified their relationship, those two relationships, like DNR or defining the relationship, defining the DTR. Okay, not DNR. No. DTR. Defining the relationship. They haven't defined their relationship yet, so it's kind of awkward between them, whatnot. So he explains it to her. She's like, "Oh, cool." And then after they cleared it up, they start flirting with each other. Ooh, book jam. But it was in front of the house, and then Kirno gets kind of jealous and whatnot.
Oh.
About what is it? Yeah, she gets kind of jealous. Prior to that, he was kind of explaining to Kuroneko like, oh, I think she actually might have a boyfriend. Sad boy hours, whatever. Um, but later on, later on, like after he flirts with Kuroneko just a little, he goes home. He talks to Kirino, and then Kirino's like. And then Kyosuke like comes out and asks her like, "Hey, you have a boyfriend?" He's like, "Maybe I do, maybe I don't." And she's kind of hinting at it, and then he's like, "Oh, sad boy hours." And then what she says is, "Hey, I have someone I want you to meet." And in his mind, is going like a million miles, and he's like, "Bro, okay, frig." She has She has a freaking boyfriend. Aw, frick.
Who is this man?
Yeah. Okay. A cut. They all go to the freaking Comet Ket and the other one, the whole Weeb squad, because they freaking made it, whatever. They made a dojin, or they made like artwork and whatnot.
Mhm.
And only reason I bring this up is because, Kuroneko, on that day, she wasn't wearing her black, um, what is it, clothes? She's
Oh
wearing,
yeah.
she's wearing this beautiful, pure white dress. Oh, like,
Oh.
brother, like Kokoro. My Kokoro was Itai. Oh my god. Anyways, that's everything else is irrelevant. Who cares about what happens? Important to know. Most important thing was Kuroneko was wearing white that day, and holy frick, it was cute AF. Oh my goodness. Okay, regardless of that, oh yeah, and on that day, he was calling Kuroneko Shironeko, and if you know your Weavanese, Shiro means white, Kuro means black, so he was calling her White Neko on that day.
White cat.
White cat. Anyways, more hijinks, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, and then Kirino there's this guy right here. Uh, there's this guy right here, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, Kirino, at the Comic Con, and they both recognizes each other.
Oh.
And then she's like, oh yeah, Kyosuke, this is the guy who I want you to meet. And again, his mind is going a million miles, like, what?
Boyfriend.
And then it cuts. Episode 6. And yeah, Kirino introduces the guy to him, blah blah blah, whatever. And he's like, oh shoot, okay, rip. And then essentially what you figure out is the guy, he works for Blue Eternal. Eternal Blue, I don't know if you remember, but that was like the cosmetic company. That was really
Right,
big.
yeah.
Yeah. So he works for them, and dude, like, he's pretty good looking. Not even capping. He's really good looking. And he's young, and he's hip, and he got money. You know, the full package. End cut. And then... oh my gosh, I read this script and I'm like, bruh, I want to skip this. It's not too irrelevant to the story, but I'm going to anyways, because what happens is hilarious. So,
Okay.
you know, literally, what happens is Kyosuke comes to Ayase's house and he's in her room. The next thing what happens is she handcuffs him.
Oh? Huh? Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and then there's a flashback of them like calling each other. She's like, hey yo Kyosuke, you wanna come over to my house this whatever day? And he's like, yo Pog Champ, hex yeah, let's do it. And he goes, and you know, he was thinking, oh man, Ayase is gonna freaking confess to me, lol. But then when he got handcuffed, he's like, man, this is a trap, gosh darn it. And then, you know, Ayase, she goes into yandere mode. And,
Oh.
you know, she was getting like the knife out, freaking sharpening it, whatnot. Not really, but honestly, they should have added it to the scene. It would have made it much better. And pretty much, she showed him those pictures that he took with Kirino when they were on a date. And she's like, explain this. And he freaking go and explains everything. And then she's like, oh, okay, TXT. My bad, whatever. She says that. But then she goes nuts about Kirino having a boyfriend because Kirino didn't like see anything about it, and he was telling her that. And then again, she goes into yandere mode once more, and then it cuts. And then, oh my goodness. Okay. And then it's Kyosuke and Kuroneko again. They're walking home, right? They walking home, and then now he actually like full on ask about like that kiss and or like what is it? You know, they're talking about their feelings and in front of the house, and then because you know he's still concerned about the boyfriend debacle, whatever, and he's like, oh man, why does Kirino always have to have like someone else or whatnot? And you know, Kuroneko right here, you know, trying to sweeping in and saying, I've always had my eyes only on you.
Oh.
You know, while blushing, going ooh ooh, all that stuff. And he asked her, oh, so you like me then, right? You know, in a jokingly manner, right?
Yeah. Not expecting a real response.
And she blushes, saying, "Ya fam."
Word for word.
Word for word. So when that went down, he was gonna ask about the kiss, like the meaning of the kiss, getting full clarity. And
Yeah.
then Kirino freaking pops in and freaking interrupts them. And they get super awkward. Because essentially, they were going from school to the house because they were gonna have like a party. Like an anime watching party, right? And then it gets awkward AF, dude. It gets awkward between Kirino, Kuroneko, and Kyosuke. And Sayuri's there. She's just vibing, okay? She's just there at the party, but she feels a room and be like, oh, okay, so something ain't right here. These two get super like pissed and whatever, and Kirino, what she does is she makes a declaration before anything starts and says, I have a boyfriend now. Just out loud, rubbing it in people's faces. Kuronekos get pissed and be like, you're so immature. She leaves. Kirino gets pissed. She goes upstairs and starts playing freaking Aerogaze again. And then Sayuri, being the trooper that she is and whatnot, she's like, oh, I guess we have to cancel it. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, Sayuri. You're the real G. Man, sorry, Sayuri's not getting a break. Kyosuke is also not getting a break. My goodness.
Pain.
Yeah. And then there's a flashback where the BF, or the boyfriend, goes to the house, freaking introducing himself to like family and whatnot. Kyosuke gets pissed, be like, man, this guy's better than me? Kirino freaking picked this guy over me? What the frick? SMH. She gets all pissy about it and be like, slaps him and be like, know your place! He's so much better than you in so many ways. He's good looking, he could be a model, he has money, you have none of that. Ew, yuck, And he gets sad boy hours, right? And then, again, it flashes back to the present, and then Sayori, she consoles him, taking off her glasses, undoing her hair, blushing, saying, it'll be alright. And it cuts. I don't know why I said that, but yes. She was blushing. Took off the glasses, took off her hair, her hairbands with her Ojiosama figure, dude. Oh my gosh. It was a great scene. Regardless. And then he just, Kyosuke freaking encounter his father. Father's drunk because father's like, freaking, who's this guy? This man's taking my little girl away, whatever. He's not good enough for my freaking daughter, whatever. And Kyosuke's like, yeah, you're right. So what happens is the boyfriend, another day, he comes to the house. And then, Kirino and the boyfriend, they're just vibing on the couch, whatever. Kyosuke literally breaks in, gets on the ground, on his knees, full on begging the boyfriend, don't date my sister. Don't do it. Don't date her. and he goes on to like this whole speech in convincing him not to. And here's the best part. Kirino, whole time, she gets flustered. She gets freaking fed up. She goes up, freaking like beats him up and everything, and then she lashes out saying, how could he say this when you are like flirting with all the other freaking girls? And then she finally exposes that the boyfriend that she has were aka fake. And then the guy, the fake BF, he didn't say it outright, but he was hinting that Kirino was doing this just to get his attention, or
So
just
like
to get
like, true, but it's just like to get a reaction kind of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
But you know, Kyosuke doesn't really catch on to that yet.
No, of course it doesn't.
And yeah, and then there's some other stuff that happens, but who cares about that? This is the best part. This is the
Oh,
best part right here. Oh no.
I'm ready.
So, Kuroneko is actually Shironeko. She's wearing her white dress behind the school. And guess who comes along going up to meet her? It's Kyosuke. He's walking,
Mm-hmm.
you know? He comes and meets her, and she is full out blushing, dude. She's like a rose. And holy crap, dude, my Kokoro was about to explode during this scene. Like, I knew this was coming, but holy crap. Oh my goodness, dude. And then she essentially asked him straight up, I like you. Can we go out? Dude, like, I was doing a victory dance, dude. You know those Fortnite dance, dude? I was literally doing that when I saw this scene. But of course, no one was there to see me dancing when this
Sadly.
happens. Okay, so episode 7. He blushes, and then she goes tsundere mode again, but she was going iwu the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And like after that, you know, he was like just staring at her for a few seconds, not really saying anything. And dude, broke my heart, dude. Kuroneko, she was concerned, you know, she was about to cry. She had some tears, you know, sad boy hours. And then she was asking him like, do you like someone else? Do you like someone else? Do you not want to date me? And he's like, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. And she's like, I still like you though. And you know, still calling him senpai, whatever. And then right after, she tells him to kneel. Literally points on
Oh.
the ground, be like, sit over there. And it's like, that's the ground. I don't care, sit. And then after that, she starts questioning him. They're like, okay, so what things do you like to eat? What are your favorite things to do? You know, and interrogating him, things that he likes. And you know, he's saying it, whatever, and then she starts bragging, being like my cooking is so good. I make such a good chef. And you know, she's trying to make a case for herself, saying like why she'd be the best girlfriend to have. And my gosh, dude, she was trying so hard the whole time.
Got the
Oh,
PowerPoint out and everything.
oh, dude, essentially. Oh my gosh, it was cute, dude. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. Holy frick. And then, dude, some of the lines she says, I wrote it down verbatim because holy crap. If I was told this, oh man, I would say yes on the spot. Like, for instance, she said, I love you even if I get reincarnated. That's one of the lines, dude.
Jeez.
But again, this is so out of character for her because she's really serious. She's not really like,
Yeah.
she's saying this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh dude, my heart, please.
More.
Oh my goodness. And then pretty much he says, hey, give me time to think about it. And she's like, okay, I give you a time limit, blah, whatever. Okay, and essentially it cuts, and then Kirino talks to his, talks to his big Oni-chan. Oni-chan, you know, they talk and whatever. And then he's essentially goes to her apologizing for making a fool of himself, after that whole debacle of him, like, you know, telling them, hey, don't date each other because I'm your big brother. And whatnot. And you know, she's making fun of him, being like, oh, you're such a siscon, blah blah blah, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'll do whatever to make up for it. And essentially, she says, low key, she says, go and freaking date Kuroneko. Because she knew that Kuroneko was gonna ask him out. And he's like, what she said specifically is, if someone asks you out, really think about it hard and take it seriously. And then under her breath she says, because she really likes you, dude. But he didn't hear that last part. But whatever. It doesn't matter. And okay. And then they did the party again. The anime watching party with the trio, with Kyosuke. They did the whole thing, whatever, and then everyone went their separate ways. And Kuroneko pretty much said the time limit to be right after the party ends. So essentially, they're both walking. He's walking her home. They're about separate ways.
Yeah.
And then hold on. Okay. No, I need to be sure I'm getting this right. Okay. And then Kyosuke is gonna give his answer, right? And Kuroneko's there, and she's really nervous. She has this anxious face on herself. And he's like, okay, so about my answer. And she gets really scared, right?
Yeah.
And he says, let's go out. And dude, holy crap, the look on her face, the look of relief. Oh man, I was voguing for her, okay? Oh my goodness, it's such a great scene. It's such a good confession scene, dude. And oh man, it was so cute. And Kuroneko, dude, she was voguing the whole time that now they are dating. And then it shows her, going home, right?
Yeah.
And she's pogging the whole time. She gets really happy-go-lucky, right? And her little sisters, they're really concerned. They're like, yo, One-chan is like never like this. What the frick? Is she like on drugs or something? Because it's really out of character to be super happy-go-lucky. It was so cute. She was like yelling into her like pillow. She was rolling around, getting all jumpy and everything. Oh man, dude, so freaking cute, dude. Oh my goodness. Okay, and Kyosuke's back home, and he's also thinking, bro, I have a girlfriend now, and he's getting really excited. And here's the thing, he couldn't sleep because he was thinking about it so much. Like what?
Oh.
And like, dude, like he was also thinking about some not wholesome things to do with her,
Oh. Some things best left unexplained.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, he couldn't go to sleep because he just wants to talk to her all the time and meet her. And then at night he's like, man, should I call her? Should I not? Should I call her? Should I not? And she was doing the exact same. They're both doing the exact same thing. They're both excited and they're like, oh man, what should he do? It's like the honeymoon phase of like dating, whatever. They're like really excited, they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do with these feelings? Oh, all these butterflies in my stomach. But dude, it's so funny. But anyways, the guy. So Kirino's fake boyfriend, right? So he pretty much. So essentially, he like come and met like Kyosuke because he knew that Kyosuke was a part of a like video game club, right? And he's interested in making video games too, so he just wanted to meet the members, right? So Kyosuke knew this, but he heard the doorbell ring and whatever. He went downstairs and he really thought it was Kuroneko because they're gonna go like to the club meeting together and like show off the guy or whatever, right? Or show the guy what's up and all that stuff.
Yeah. Pre-made plans and everything.
Yeah. But he opened the door with this dumb face, being all like blushing on that, like, "Hey, it's you, Kuroneko!" And then he sees like this guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's just you." And he's really disappointed. Like, wait, what? Like, why are you so disappointed? He's like, don't worry about it. And they both walking, and then he's explaining how he's now in a relationship, he's pogging, whatever. And you know what? And you know what he asks?
What?
He asks when it is okay to touch the girlfriend's boobs.
That's, that's quite the question.
You know, that's I think I guess to be honest, I think it's a pretty valid question to ask. You're with your mates. Someone gets a GF. They get really excited. They don't know what to do, and they just come out and just pop. Come out here and just pops with that question. Hey, when do you think it's okay to touch my girlfriend's boobs? How do you
Obviously,
respond?
obviously your friends are gonna be able to help you with that.
Dude, when this happened, dude, I was dead. I was on the ground. I forgot like this happened, dude. Oh my goodness. But anyways, they went to the club, right? And then they're talking, introducing each other, and then Colonel Neko comes around. She whispers to his ears, like, "Oh, okay, like, how do we tell these like our club members that we're dating or not?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then someone shouts out loud, what is it? And Kyosuke just says, "Oh yeah, guys, we're dating, by the way." And everyone in the club, even like the boy right here, right? Or not him, but everyone in the club is like, "Yeah, we know." And these two are like, "Wait, what?" And this guy is like also like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Wait, what are you talking about? Like, we just started dating yesterday." And then everyone in the club was like, "Wait, what? You've been starting dating yesterday? We thought you've been going out for a long time." The whole school thought they were going out for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they were like really close, and Kuroneko really didn't talk to anyone except for him. That kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And this guy right here, the boyfriend, he thought that he was dating his sister because of his, what he said. So he's blabbing on his mouth, be like, "I can't believe you two are dating," and he just says a whole bunch of stuff. He even talked about the boob touching, like even asking like when is it okay to touch girlfriend's boobs.
Just ask that out loud.
Yeah,
Or like,
he said it out loud, and he said
oh.
it was kind of weird for him to ask about that for his little sister or whatnot.
Anything but that.
And then Kuroneko gets pissed. She's like, "I'm okay with everything, but there's one thing I'm not okay with." And he guessed which thing. He probably guessed what thing she's mad about. Oh my goodness.
The whole, hey, you're dating someone.
Oh my goodness. But anyways, other club members, they show the boyfriend around the systems, other stuff, so they leave. So they have alone time together.
Yeah.
And Kuroneko Kuroneko asked if he like actually wanted to touch them. Sasha and Noelle. I don't know why I named them that. Well, I don't know why I said that. Oh my goodness. And he's like, "What, really?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not really mad. I feel the same way." And no cap. He says, "Oh wait, so does that mean you want to touch my breasts as well?"
He says that to her.
Yes.
Huh?
And she pretty much says, "Drop dead," in the most deadpan voice after he says that.
Yeah, trade.
But she was saying that she was also like pogging at like, and you know she couldn't sleep last night and all of that, and he's like, oh yo, I'm the same way. And then she also said, oh yeah, like I heard that guys had those kind of urges and all that stuff, whatever. Um, and then she whips out a freaking notebook and it has a whole bunch of like writing and drawings, and it pretty much is like what she wants to do with her senpai, and it's really, like full detail because again she couldn't sleep, so she used that energy to like write down plans that she wants to do. And then he's like, ah, I'm kind of new to dating and whatnot, but hey, if you want to do it, let's do it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's it.
And then, dude, the first page of the diary slash notebook, it says going on a date with senpai. Bro, that's so cute, dude. And she was blushing and showed him the page and be like, I want to do this first. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my
Couldn't
goodness.
take it.
Okay. Essentially, they freaking go out and start doing coupley stuff, you know, doing all that stuff. I would really want to go into details, but there's really no need to. I would freaking be non-stop explaining what happens, how cute Kuroneko is, so I'm gonna stop myself from doing that. But anyways, um, but Kirino, she gets a little jelly, you know, that, you know, they're spending a lot of time with each other. And, you know, they are playing some games on his bed. And she's like, oh, harder to the left. And out of context, you know?
Yeah.
And Kirino hears this. She barges in. She thinks, you know,
What are they
they
doing?
they doing some not safe for work stuff. She barges in and she's like, wait, you guys are playing games? And they're like, yeah, we're just playing games. She gets embarrassed, like, oh, freak. And then Kuroneko is like, wait, you should just, we didn't know you're home. If you're home, you should just come and hang out. And she's like, no, it's kind of weird, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, it's kind of weird doing that. You guys are dating kind of that? And Kuroneko's like, hey, if you feel like a social outcast because, you know, we're dating, like, tell us, and whatever. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And, you know, she leaves. And then they both talk about, okay, yeah, they, like, Kuroneko's probably, or Kirino's kind of like feeling like a social outcast, or outcasted because they're dating and whatnot. Blah blah blah, whatever. And who cares about that? That's kind of important, but you know, I just see it for now. But let's say, anyways, Kuroneko, or he goes to her house, right? And this is when there's gonna be fireworks. There's the festival and whatnot. And then freaking dude, Kuroneko, she was wearing a kimono, and holy frick, dude. Holy frick. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay.
Did you
Anyways,
survive?
wait, what?
Did you survive seeing it?
Oh yes. I was very close to needing 5 minutes to myself. Very close. You know.
Yes.
Anyways, so she comes out and dude, he was pogging, dude. She was pogging. He gave like the most big brain compliment ever. Like, bro, the compliment was amazing. But anyways, they go to the festival. They have a great time, whatnot. And then essentially, he was saying to her like, "Hey, I'm liking you more and more as time passes on." And she's pogging. And she's like, "Oh yes, let's go."
He said that to her.
Yeah, essentially. And he essentially says, "Okay, so what's next in the journal? What's next to do?" Kuroneko turns the page, and it says, "To break up with senpai."
Wait. Like, break up with him now?
Yeah.
Huh? It was like a plan, or
I, I'll let you process.
huh? All that work. Wow. Poor guy.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, next episode, next episode. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is where things starting to get spicy now.
Okay.
These are the last few episodes. This is where things get spicy. Okay. So Kyosuke, like, goes around and you're like, hey, where's Kuroneko? I haven't really seen her. And like people are telling him like, wait, what do you mean Kuroneko? She transferred. And he's like, wait, what? And they're like, wait, you didn't know? I thought you would know because you're her boyfriend. And you know, he stood there quietly, not saying anything. And then it cuts. Then you know, he runs to her house, and then it was like fully empty. And he's like, you gotta be kidding me. So he tries to call her. Nothing came
Oh,
up.
ghosted.
Yeah, essentially.
Ouch.
So you know what he does. Guess what he does?
Finds her in person. Oh, wait. uh, I see you. I see you've brought someone else back to the frame again.
So you know,
Round two.
round two. Okay, so Kirino's, she's sleeping, right? And guess who decides? Guess who decides to come up on top of her and slaps her awake? Just guess who?
It's when he's on top of her.
Yes. And slaps her awake. So it's like the reverse of what happened in episode 1.
Wait, yeah.
And he's like, life counseling time, baby.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. And then they have a heart to heart, and he's just, telling him, being very transparent about his feelings for Kuroneko, and then how he doesn't know what to do because freaking Kuroneko broke up with him without any warning at all. He cries, and then she comforts him. And you know how she comforts him? Do you want to know how?
Tell me.
So she pretty much like mama bears him. So from like behind, hugs him and like pats him and like soothingly. Wait, what were you thinking? I was gonna say.
I don't know.
Who do you...
I had no clue where that was going.
Okay, alrighty. And then they were both like, okay, let's go and look for her. So they go to like a different town and like go look because they got some clues like, oh, she could have been in this town. So they go out, go around asking people, and then bam, they see Kuroneko. And then they like catch her essentially, or Kirino catches her and stops her from running away, and then they talk. And then essentially Kuroneko was asking, okay, how do you feel about your brother? Essentially Kirino says, I hate my brother. I hate him so much. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. But I can't stand the fact that if he has a girlfriend. She's being really honest. And again, this is in public and she's full out yelling. And he's like, oh gosh, oh my goodness. So, and she pretty much confesses to having a fake boyfriend, so she's able to get the attention from Kyosuke because she hates the fact that she was flirting with Kuroneko, and that when Kuroneko was asking her, be like, hey, is it okay if I date your brother? She said yes, but in her heart is like, she's saying no. And then when Kuroneko dumped his butt, when Kuroneko dumped this man's butt, she felt really relief and happy. But it was for a short moment because she saw how sad, sad boy hours he was like getting. He was like, okay, fine, I'll help him out, even though like I was fogging the whole time. And then this is all news to him. He's like, oh frick, I didn't know this. What the frick? And then Kuroneko, she's like, okay, let me talk to you, Kyosuke. And then she asked him a question. She asked him if if he would choose Kuroneko or Kirino. And he stutters a bit. Then he was about to give an honest answer, right?
Yeah.
But she stops him right there before he says anything.
Oh.
And she's like, "Oh, JKTEX, this is all a joke." And then she faints. She faints, Lamau, and then she gets back up, and then they talk again. They talk, and then Kuroneko just explains herself, like, "Oh yeah, I transferred towns because my father got a new job, but the town is really close. It's like really really close. It's maybe like 20 minutes at most, like distance wise." And they're like, "Bruh, sister, you freaking scared us. Holy frick." But yeah, she had to transfer schools because the school is closer to her house. Blah blah blah. Zoning laws. Whatever. Who cares? And then they go to her new house, a new apartment, right? And then as she was doing that, preparing some tea for them, they've been talking, and Kirino was asking himself, "Oh, what do you answer?" And he gave a non-answer answer, kind of an answer, and be like, "Well, if you're not okay with me having a girlfriend, then I guess I won't."
Oh.
And she's like, "Okay, so why don't you be okay with that still? Until when?" And he's, "Oh, until you have like a boyfriend or something." And she's like, "Wait, but don't you not want me to have a boyfriend? Like a catch-22 situation?"
Yeah.
And then Kuroneko freaking breaks in and be like, "Here's a tea, everyone," and then never got a true answer. Alrighty, let's go episode.
Which one are we at now?
We're on episode 10. We're pretty close.
Oh wow.
Hold on. I need a sip of water.
Okay, I'm at a point right now where it makes sense, but it also really has not at all, ever.
You're saying it makes sense?
Well, no, I can follow what's going on in what we've been describing, the whole story. I can follow it, but at the same time, I really can't at all. Because there's just so much going on.
Alrighty. Okay. Oh man, you better buckle up, dude. It's gonna get even wilder soon.
I'm ready. Let's finish this off.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So this episode literally just cuts to a whole bunch of scenes where Kyosuke is freaking teasing Ayase, like for instance asking her to freaking marry him, or showing her dojins, teasing. Actually, it's high key like sexual harassment, like high key but not really. But in in a teasing way. And then she was essentially, she asked him to come over, and the whole debacle, she puts the handcuffs on him before coming in. Essentially, her argument is so that he doesn't do anything strange, but he's like, bro, what are you talking about? And
Really
she.
strange. Never anything.
But anyways, she was saying, "Oh yeah, congratulations on freaking getting a new girlfriend." And he was like, "Yeah, because of that, I can't freaking harass you anymore." And she's like, "SMH, what the frick?" Uh, but however, later on, but he didn't really like say anything. Like this is a little after because this kind of happened simultaneously. Kuroneko breaking up with him, whatever. Because she learned about it through Manase or Minamise, the childhood friend. And when she heard the news that he was single again, she was pogging. No cap.
Oh. The opportunity has arrived.
The opportunity has arrived. Okay. And yeah, I'll say that much. The other stuff, it's just more hijinks that happens between Kyosuke and Kirino. TLDR, there's an event for an anime going on, and Kirino was working, and she's like, "Oh, brother, like I'm gonna be. I don't think I can make the event because I'm still doing it." He's like, "No way, no way, you can't miss this." So he freaking grabs a bike, freaking goes to her work, and the bike is like fully dicked out and like anime girls and whatever. So he was coming in asking for his sister, and there's a whole bunch of people being like, "Yo, this guy's a creep. Let's not get him near the girls and whatever." Kirino sees him. She gets embarrassed. She's like, "Okay, that is my brother. Oh my goodness, SMH. I can't believe he's doing this." And here's the thing. Kirino is wearing a wedding dress, by the way. I don't know if that's important, but she's wearing a wedding dress. Anyways, and Kyosuke was wearing some very nice clothes, like a suit and stuff. And essentially, he was able to convince like the agent stuff to let them go, and but Kirino's, "Oh wait, I need to change out of this wedding dress, blah blah blah, whatever." And the agent's like, "Oh, who cares? You could do whatever with the dress. You could do whatever. You could just store it. It doesn't matter." But Kirino's like, "Wait, but I can't do that. Let's do that." And then freaking agent gets a pair of scissors and destroys the wedding dress. Be like, "It's already destroyed. You can't do anything about it. Now go." So then, she's like, "Okay, whatever." They both go, and then at the event, whatever, he grabs her hand, and her face, she poses and all that stuff. Her heart is going doki doki.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. Like, okay, we're at the home stretch, dude. Episode 11.
Oh.
Episode 11 is not too super important, but parents are really sus of Kyosuke and Kirino being like close.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you guys are really close with each other. It's really odd. And they're like, "What do you mean, mother?" And then the mother's saying some stuff, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, and also I found a picture of y'all two dating." And here's the thing, Kyosuke, he put those pictures everywhere just to troll Kirino, but it got up to him. Like his parents found out. But anyways, but the father is like, "You should live alone. It's time for you to live alone. You need to grow up. You need to grow there." Not necessarily get out, but for a certain period of time. Just cause, again, his father wanted him to get the experience of living alone, but also since his entrance exam for uni was going to come up. Because here's the thing about uni in like Asian countries is that how you get in is not by applications. Literally, it's just by your test. if you score high enough, or if you pass the test, you're able to get into the uni. So it's
Oh,
really
okay.
dependent on that test. That's why it's really important. So that's why. And essentially, after that happens, it's just a whole bunch of high school hijinks. Of like the girls coming in one by one, you know, seeing how he's doing, essentially.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now this is where I'm gonna take my sweet time now. These last few episodes is where I'm gonna take my time. So so what I'm gonna probably do is I'll like explain an episode and then we'll talk about it after each one.
Okay.
Okay. So episode 12 is that there's going to be a housewarming party, right? For
Yeah.
Kyosuke, for him to get suited, like get him acclimated and everything. Hold up. I need a copy pasta all the characters in here because all the characters came in. Hold up. And you know they're preparing the housewarming party. Everyone's there. Everyone's having a good time and whatnot. Hold on, hold on. I'm getting all these characters out here.
The reunion.
The reunion, essentially. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Copy this image. Pasted. Paste. Okay. Paste this right here. Copy. Oops. Where's copy image? There should be 6 characters on screen. That's 5 and one more. Copy image and 6. Okay. So they're all here. They're all vibing. Whatever. And then the topic comes up about food, like, oh, how will Kyosuke eat food and whatnot? Because, you know, he's gonna be studying most of the time, and he can't really cook to save his life.
Really busy. Yeah.
Like literally, he can't cook to save his life. So, the girls, not Kirino doesn't, honestly doesn't, but literally, all the other girls start fighting for who should be cooking for him or going to his place and cook or bring food.
Oh.
Even Kanako freaking comes in and also they start arguing. Like, you know, she's making the case, you know, that she's also studying for the exam, so it's better for her because she can come and cook and also tutor him. Kuroneko is like, bruh, like, my cooking is superior, no cap, blah blah blah. And then Sayori, again, Sayori's wearing her really nice clothes, like her non-weave clothes, so she looks really nice and prim and proper, right? And she's saying that she has a lot of free time, unlike this girl, and then she lives kind of farther away, so it'll take her more time. And she said, oh yeah, I have a lot of free time, I can cook for him and take care of him with money, of course, because again, she's like an ojo-sama.
Sure.
And then Kanako, which is the girl, the like Kanako, she's like, oh freaking you're ugly, freaking someone who's an idol should take care of him, like me. And you know, it gets more heated by the second, whatever. And then Kirino freaking loses it, and she's like, screw all of you, screw all of you. And essentially
They're all fighting now.
Yeah, screw all of you, right? And then essentially what happens is Kirino goes to Ayase and be like, hey, could you cook for my brother and clean for him, like, you know, help him out? Because number one, you're not freaking gonna jump the gun and try to like get like all the girls, and you're not gonna distract him at all because all these other girls, they freaking have ulterior motives. I know it. Freaking gosh, like screw them. And most of all, because you hate my brother, so I trust you, and also you could cook and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, fine, because Kirino was like begging her, like, okay, just for 1 month, that's just enough. And she's like, okay. And then the rest of the episode is these two. So essentially, it was him like going to school, coming back and studying, and then her freaking coming, cooking for him. She got a spare key to the place. So
Whoops.
she's cooked for him, did the laundry, whatever, and then they spend more time. They start vibing, they start talking more and more, and like, okay, here's the thing. So Kirino,
Mhm.
I wonder if I drew it. No, I didn't draw it. Okay, so Kirino, she has like some clips on her, like pink clips. I didn't draw it on her. I forgot to. And then Ayase starts wearing them. She starts calling him Oni-san, and the whole trope and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens later on is he finishes the exam, right? He does well, he passes, whatever, right?
Mhm.
He comes back home, and usually the test is done during winter time. He comes back home, and then she's waiting outside for him. And then essentially, what happens is she confesses to him, saying that she always liked him. Saying like, oh my gosh, you sexually harassed me, you're a freaking gross otaku, you're a pedo, but regardless of all that, I love you. TXT! You know? And then he was like, sorry, I like someone else. I can't date you. And she's like, come on, what? Oh, come on. You freaking asked me to marry you. What the frick? And she's getting pissy, whatever. And she's like, okay, how about we end this off? Or no, he was like, okay, how about we end this off how we usually do? Where I say something stupid and you freaking beat me up. And she's like, really? And he gets ready. He prepares his body. He's like, yes, come at me. Like he's about to receive like a getting tackled by a freaking, I don't know, 6'10" guy who weighs like 105 kilograms or something like that. He's
Alright.
preparing himself, right? So she literally like comes, runs, and it seemed like she was about to like kill him, right? Or like to give a last punch, but no.
Yeah.
She kisses him on the cheek, of course.
Oh.
And cuts.
Surprise.
It cuts there. Okay. And now, what are your thoughts on this episode?
It seems like they're kind of foreshadowing, like, everybody hating each other. Just the fact that when you're saying when they all first meet up, how they all start fighting, basically.
Yeah. Okay, alrighty. I won't say anything because you'll soon find out. Okay. So this next episode is technically the end of season 2, but however there is an OVA series right after which like fully concludes the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would end at like episode 12 instead?
No, it wouldn't.
Or-
Like it would end like 13 is kind of like we'll leave it at here for now. There's more. So
Okay.
like, it's that kind of ending. But essentially, I'll give like a brief overview of what happens. Is that here's the thing about Kiosk. Where's my photos? Where's my photos? Where's Kioski? Where is he? Okay, so this is probably on like Kioske, Kirino, and Minami, Minase, what freaking childhood friend,
Name.
whatever. Okay, so essentially, Kiosuke was actually like really good at a lot of stuff. So he was pretty smart. He was smart enough where he was like tutoring like Minase like a lot. He was really good at running like, and he was well spoken like everything. And like Kirino, and this is when they're like much younger, and Kirino really looked up to like her Oni-chan. Like she's like, oh my gosh, my Oni-chan is so cool. Oh my gosh, yo, cool, pog. But then, as he got older, he got more complacent. Rather than like running, getting better at stuff, he'll just lay in freaking the couch and just read manga, goof around, whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
And Kirino's like, what are you doing, stepbro? I mean, what are you doing, brother? You should be doing something better with your life. Come on. How are you running or studying? Like, weren't you so good at that? He's like, yeah, but the quiet life is so much better. And she's like, what are you doing, Oni-chan? You're not my own Oni-chan. My own Oni-chan doesn't do this. Yeah. And then she runs, right? She runs away.
Yeah.
And guess who she runs to? Minase. She runs to Minase, going to her, being like, Oni-san is not the same. What happened to him? It's all your fault. Because he spent a lot of time with Minase. And
Oh yeah.
Kirino was thinking that since Minase is like really laid back with stuff for the most part, and they spend a lot of time with each other, she like influenced him. And she was telling, give my brother back, give me my brother back. And he's like, I won't, TXT. In like the most soft voice. And here she was like, it's really odd for a little sister to like her Oni-chan this much. Like, it's taboo. You shouldn't do it. That's why I'm taking Kyosuke away from you. I'm not giving him back. And then, dude, Kirino gets pissed, dude. She gets pissed. She's like, freaking screw you! Yeah! And she runs away. Again, she's really good. She's good at running. But that glaring detail about not, she's not able to being able to love her Nichan, being it all taboo, whatever, it kind of eats at her, right? And she wants a way to deal with that, and she does that by playing erogaze, of course, with little sisters.
Of course.
Give her Vil. But here's the thing. It wasn't for her. It wasn't automatic. It was like a slow progression. She saw these anime, saw these things, and then it piqued her interest. And then when she took a little bit, it just happened so that she dug herself in way too deep, and she got more and more into it. So essentially, she got into erogaze and mangas because of her love for her Oni-chan.
Oh yeah.
And that's essentially the end of episode 13.
Oh my.
Okay, let's hear your thoughts.
It's like slowly getting more and more crazy, and my mind's like clicking in and clicking out and clicking in and out. I'm at a loss for words.
Okay, alrighty. Now, okay. Here, I'm gonna... Okay. Now here, at this point, if you wanna, like, stop me to voice your, like, concerns or your thoughts, please do so. Because, OVA series, there's, like, 13 episodes, but in all honesty, it's one big blur. It's honestly just one big blur. So yeah. Okay,
the last few might kind of meld together.
Yeah, they meld together, dude, at this point. So you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Delete. Oops. No. Oh my goodness, I keep pushing the wrong thing. So I'll move. Move this character. Move this character. Let's get her on here. Hold on. I'm just gonna have them all here prepared because, man, oh man. Hold on, give me one moment. Sorry, I'm back. My sister was just handing my dinner, but I'm like, okay, I'll
It's okay.
eat this. I'll eat this later. Okay, this is more important. This is more important than my dinner right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're getting to the home stretch. I'm getting all the characters ready. I'm setting the scene.
Here we
Oh my
go.
goodness. Okay, so okay. So what happens is Kuroneko and Kyosuke decided to like meet each other again, like after he finished the test, to, you know, clarify their relationship again. Because Kuroneko and like Kyosuke, after that whole debacle, them breaking up, it's not. She had like she didn't want to break up. She just did because like circumstances, right? But you know they like kind of got to bed, kind of got back together, but not really. It's like they didn't, you know, it was very confusing, right? It's very unclear. So they decided to meet each other to like clear that up. And essentially, Kuroneko, you know, it's at night. She's here, ready, and Kyosuke is good here, and then
Yeah.
essentially he's oh man, dude. Essentially he says to Kuroneko, I like someone else. And when he said that, dude, Kuroneko looks devastated. And here's the thing. He said I like someone else, and then he shouts out something else like super passionately. You don't hear it. There's no audio for this to really like really drive home the fact that he's straight up rejecting her.
Oh yeah.
And dude, she gets devastated, right? And what she does, okay, remember that notebook, right? That she wrote
Mhm.
with all the things? She brought it out and she just rips it apart. She just destroys it. And then after, you know, she tries to play it off, you know, tries to be like anime character saying like you activated my trap card or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like after that, like after she does that, right? She becomes like, you know, sad boy hour. She freaking she just tears up and she like cries out loud. It is like it's devastating. Like for instance, like a close like one of your parents dying right in front of you.
Oh yeah. Like
It's that kind of
done
guy.
for.
Yeah. Also, it's snowing by the way. It's snowing. What happened?
What? For while all this happening?
Yes.
That's
Uh-huh.
terrible timing.
Alrighty, okay. Then it cuts. And then Kyosuke, he asks Kirino, like, hey Kirino, let's go out to freaking Christmas. Well, and essentially how he convinces her to go out to Christmas, you know, on a date, like how they did last year for her like
Yeah.
novel. He's like, hey, let's go buy this eroge, which is that's coming out on Christmas. She's like, no way, there's an eroge coming out on Christmas. I don't know about this. And he's like, hey, you know that magazine you're reading? Go to turn page 135. And she's like, no way. She flips to 135. What the frick, there is? And she starts talking to me like, okay, let's go. Um, so they go out for Christmas, and okay, you remember what they said about Christmas and like couples and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Okay, so they get to Arrowgate, whatever. They go on a date, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, and then he says like, "Oh, Kirino, I have to tell you something really important." She gets flustered and she just runs, runs like usual. Because here's the thing,
Oh,
in her mind, she knew that Kuruneko and him talked. She
oh
thought
yeah.
that Kyosuke was gonna tell her, "I am dating Kuroneko again, Jam," and she didn't want to hear it. You know, she didn't want to hear it at all. She freaking dashes out,
Let
of
me give him
there.
the chance.
Yeah. So he freaking chases her, and then she's like, "Oh man, I can't catch up to her. She's so fast." And guess who decides to show up in a car? It's the freaking Weed Squad with
Oh.
Sayuri's sister, right? So
Yeah.
they essentially go freaking zoom to try to catch Kirino, and then he catches up to her, and he confesses in front of like, again, this is a public space. He freaking confesses to her, and she's flushed. She's caught off guard, like, it's forbidden, blah blah. And then guess what? Okay, so the their car, right? Their car, they had full like blown like speakers, like boom speakers.
Oh yeah.
It could cause earthquakes kind of speakers, and they like recorded him like confessing to his sister, and they like freaking blasted out in public, and both of them kind of gets flustered, but you know what? Kyosuke freaking owns it like a boss, and be like, yeah, that's true. I freaking love my sister. I don't care about whatever people say. And essentially, they start going out. and and what he says is, "Hey, let's get married together." And she agrees.
Oh, well, that's not you. That's not usually how it goes. And usually plan it out. Hey, Mary. Yes. Okay.
Okay. And what happens is, after that whole debacle, they go to a loft hotel on
Mhm.
Christmas evening. And they whisper something to each other, and I'll tell you what they whisper to each other at the very end.
Okay.
So after they whisper, they like pog champ with each other. They say, "Picking promise, you gotta keep this promise, okay, lol." And then they play Aerogaze, and then it's on Christmas evening, and there's this cutscene where the Oni-chan and the Emoto are celebrating Christmas.
Oh.
Just the two of them. And
Oh. Okay.
Santa is taking off his linens, let's say that much.
I see. Hmm.
And yeah, nothing really happened after that. Or I don't think. I hope
Nothing
not.
shown.
Nothing shown, so I don't know. But anyways, after that happened, they pretty much go to the squad and say that they're now dating. And freaking Kuroneko is like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, this is gonna happen, I knew this, whatever." And Sayori's like, "Ah, I see. Cool. I thought were memeing, but wow, you're serious. Oh, crap. But okay, y'all can make it work, even though it's a taboo and whatever."
We don't worry about that part.
Okay, and then Kyosuke gets a call from Kanako to go somewhere, so he goes there, and then Kanako is doing a live performance as the idol, whatever, and
Yeah.
then she freaking gets the mic and freaking confesses to him, be like, "Hey, I love you, fam," And he's like, yo, like, I like someone else. I'm dating someone else. And she's like, oh, I see. Well, I'm gonna make you regret it by singing a song and making you regret that you missed out on dating an idol. Teehee lol.
And
And then, okay. And after, it cuts, he wakes up, and his little sister's sleeping right next to him. Guess what he does? Guess what he does tries to do.
What?
She's sleeping next to him, whatever, and he got his finger, right? His bulky finger, and this is her, this is her her bosom, right? He's getting closer and closer, and he does a quick poke.
Yeah.
Quick poke, She, quote unquote, wakes up and be like, oh my gosh, Anisha, what are you touching my breast? Oh, why are you doing that? Oh, you're perfect. Slaps. Or she didn't really slap him, but, she's overreacting.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute. There's no way you could wake up from me poking that. You were awake, weren't you? You're trying to see what was happening, you freaking... And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Nichan. Yeah, you're so weird. And then he was asking her like, yo, like, why are you sleeping next to me? And then she's trying to make the excuse like, oh, in the air case, what happened? Yeah, I just wanted to see what you would do. And he's like, okay.
Way to do that.
Oh my good, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then they go to Kirino's room, and then Kirino like shows him recordings of her like actually loving her Oni-chan, like no cap, like love, in a sibling manner, or closer than sibling manner, if you catch my drift.
Yes.
All, sweet home Alabama, as some people will say.
And you watched this show in detail.
I watched this twice. Once when it was airing, and once yesterday.
You're about to get a phone call from the government.
What do you mean? Anyway, okay. Then the whole school's kind of knows that he is dating his little sister. Because the whole school.
And take one to figure out.
Okay. And after they graduate, right? They graduate, and then they graduate. Everyone's happy. Blah blah blah. And then these three, they're on a bench. They're just sitting with each other.
Yeah.
And then he was saying sorry to Mina Ise that he didn't really say anything to her. And she's like, oh yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. He's like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I just didn't want to say, I wanted to be honky-dory until we graduate. He's like, oh, okay. And then, okay, remember how I said prior, like, Minase and Kirino, they got some beef, right? Because...
Oh, yeah.
So, she's playing it out like, oh, Nietzsche, I love you so much. She's trying to be all like PDA, like hard with
rubbing her face.
Yeah, rubbing her face, like, hey, I won, look at me, I won, hee 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 hee, I won, hee hee hee. And dude, she kind of breaks, right? And she freaking sucker punches her in the stomach, like full out, full force, bam, whack.
Oh no.
And she's like, what the frick? And she freaking slaps her. Minami. And,
it's not on fight now.
Yeah, and Minase freaking slaps her. And then, Kyosuke is like, yo, okay, this is getting kind of out of hand. And he tries to stop them, right? They both
Mhm.
punch his face because they're both going at each other's face. They're punching
Yeah.
simultaneously, and he freaking he's in the middle. He gets punched, and he's like, "Holy frick! They're going all out. They're not holding back. I thought they were freaking. I thought this was just like them like slapping each other. What the frick?" And they full out fist fight each other. Freaking
Oh my god.
get the freaking vertical cameras. This is freaking world stars. Freaking the freaking background yelling, "Oh, get him in the face!" Dude, it was wild, dude. Freaking, they're pulling on each other's hair, freaking punching each other in the face. Freaking Minase's glasses broke. Oh man, dude, it was a full out fist fight.
Oh no.
Like, dude, guys when they fight,
He's just stuck in the middle of it.
oh my goodness, like guys when they fight, dude, they just they just punch each other. When girls fight, when these two girls fight, they're grabbing each other's freaking hair. They're trying to drag each other. Holy frick, dude, it's a whole new level. But anyways, so after they like punch each other, they freaking like calm down a bit. Minase was like, speaking truth, being like, number one, this is messed up. Number two, it's gross. And number three, this is not going to work in the world. Like, there's no way this is gonna work. And Kirino is like, I don't care. We'll defy the odds. Blah blah blah. Right? And then Minase is like, you leave me no choice. I'm just gonna tell your dad. And Kyosuke is like, oh, Imoto, let me handle this. He goes to her, bows her, and be like, please, I'm begging you. Please don't tell my father. Please, I'm begging you. And Kirino's like, oh my gosh, what a lame brother. Come on. He has no spine. And Minase is being like really adamant and being like, but what if I don't? What if I just go and tell him? And he is like, oh, I'll do anything. Please don't help him. And they're like, okay, how about you two break up? Like anything but that. And be like, okay, what's stopping you from just going and telling your dad? He's like, oh, nothing. What will happen if I just go and tell your freaking dad? And then he had like a heartfelt speech and saying like, well, he doesn't care. He'll face the consequences for his little emoto, whatever. And again, Minase, again, she's usually very sweet, a very like motherly like character, but in this instance, she's pissed. She's like down talking them, right? In serious voice.
Yeah.
But then what what she says, she reverts back to her old self and be like, what if I begged you to not? And he gets cut off. I'm like, wait, what? What is this coming out? And she's like, but what if I beg you to not? What if I tried really hard begging? And he's like, and he's all caught off guard because she knows that she can't strong arm him. He's too like hard-headed. He's too stubborn. Yeah. So she switches tactics and go her usual self. He's like, oh, what if I begged you instead? He's like, wait, what? And then straight up, out of nowhere, she confesses and be like, I like you, Kyo-kun. Why don't you just come with me instead?
Right.
And then she was saying, it would have been so perfect if it wasn't for freaking Kirino. We'd have been a happy family, just you and me. And then she keeps trying to pursue him, whatever. And then he responds by saying, I'm sorry, I love my sister too much. Essentially she slaps him and says, that is the worst response ever. Lol. Actually, not even capping. That's how she responded, in that kind of demeanor. That is the worst kind of response. Lol.
Poor guy.
Anyways. So, next scene is them two at a church. He's wearing a white suit. She's wearing a wedding dress.
Oh, so it's just that.
Okay, okay, that's not the end. That's not the end, right?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. But that was holy frick. Okay, and then they're just talking about each other, just talking about the memories, the hardships they had to go through, and then you know, and then this happens. Hold up, hold up. This one, I just this right here. This happens.
Oh.
Sweet
Huh.
home Alabama.
Wow.
Sweet home Alabama.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Okay, let me finish up this story. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay. So, remember I said they whispered something to each other?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it cuts back to that scene, and it shows them what they said exactly. Essentially, they said, "Hey, let's pretend that we're dating until we graduate, and after, let's go back to being normal siblings." Lol.
It's all fake.
No, not necessarily. So they were actually acting like a couple, being all honky dory with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But after they graduate, they promised with each other, let's go back to normal. AKA they broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And essentially, she freaking takes off the ring because, oh yeah, he bought her a ring during Christmas. Like, oh, they're getting married, whatever. She gives him back the ring and be like, okay, we're done dating. We're done dating now. TXT. And she like, she leaves the church, and then he follows, smirking like, yeah, I guess it is over. And then the, the last scene is them going to Akihabara, and again there's another like meeting, but now there's like new people, and she's like, oh my god, I'm excited to meet the new people. Hopefully there's like a little sister like, kind of character. Oh my gosh, it'd be so poggers, yo. And he's like, oh, okay, wait, one last thing. She's like, what? And he literally goes up to her, kisses her in the cheek, and she's like, what are you talking about? What happened to our promises? And then that's how it ends, with the cutscene saying,
That's the end.
yes, and it cut, and there's a cutscene saying, my little sister cannot be this cute. Eh, and that is the end.
That's the show.
That is the show.
Wow.
So, what are your thoughts? Since we're finally finished.
Not something I'd probably watch myself. I'll just do that first. I'm surprised that how popular is it even?
It's. I would say it's pretty infamous. I don't know about popular, but it is very infamous.
It's popular for the wrong reason.
Kind of, yeah, because of the Sweet Home Alabama,
I see.
aspect.
Okay.
So you would not watch this.
I don't think I'd go out of my way to, or even really plan on it.
Oh my goodness. But did you enjoy my me explaining it though?
The explanation was great. Like, everything I need to know about the show, about having to actually watch it. You've saved me lots of time.
Yes, I essentially saved
Even if I
you.
would have probably never watched it.
I think I saved you about like 5 hours, 5 6 hours.
Oh my.
Yeah, dude. This is kind of brutal. I'm not gonna lie. Going through, sitting down and watching this again, dude.
You have to rewatch every episode of this.
Oh yeah, get that premium detail on what happens.
Premium.
Yes. Yeah, Azu. Now let me ask you this: would you be willing to do something like this in the future again? Maybe not this series, maybe another series.
Potentially.
Because
I think it might depend on like how long of a show it is. And I guess also even what show it is too, in general.
right, right. So yeah, this one is typically, if I were to do this again, it'll probably not be this long because this is like 26 episodes essentially.
Oh yeah.
Like other shows that I would have done is probably like they're like 12 episodes. Not like
Like the one season short ones.
yeah,
Okay.
because I have a few series in mind. If you want to, but let's just say this is just the beginning. This is just the iceberg. What is it? The iceberg
It's
thing.
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
just the tip.
Uh,
I don't know if I should have said that. Maybe you won't do
I
it.
think choice of words is maybe a little bit off after what we've seen.
Oh my god. Because man, oh man, yeah, there's a few series I think are like I don't know, like there's one series some people it's very like is a dichotomy. It's either you love it or you hate it, and there's no in between.
Okay.
It gives a lot of people very visceral reactions. This one is like kind of like that, but not as much. The other series, oh man, it uh yeah, just stuff.
Mixed reactions.
Yes, but yeah, only like here. Okay, here's my opinion, or this is my like 2 cents on the series. Is no one won at the end, which is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Literally, he Kyosuke had so many like girls, dude, in his confession to Kirino, I forgot this detail. He says I threw away all my options, like because he had so many girls to choose from because they all confessed to him, and he's like I didn't even touch their boobs.
Poor guy.
Like he threw it all away. He can Ayase, Kuroneko, Kanako, low-key Sayori, even though she didn't like come out and say it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Ruined.
So sad, dude. That's so sad. My goodness. But yeah. But yeah, it's getting late for
Really
me.
good.
Yeah, I need to eat my dinner. I
Not like what, half an hour ago?
yeah, half an hour ago. It was worth, dude. It's so worth to do this.
This was fun.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, Azu. Hopefully you're willing to do it again. It'll be once every while because it is a lot of work on my end since I have to
Okay, you
rewatch
have
everything.
the
I
entire
have to
thing.
draw. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We'll see what happens.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, chat, I hope y'all enjoyed this, or if you're watching the VOD, I hope you enjoyed this craziness, me explaining freaking the series to a friend, to a normie, and if he, you know, if he agrees to do it again in the future, oh man, it's gonna get more spicy, more, um, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at that more spicy to prevent any more to try to keep him interested in doing it.
Oh yeah, and what we call it here? Let me check Discord.
Discord?
Yeah.
Yo, let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need 5 minutes. Hold up. We need to end this quick so I can get to it
Yes.
fast.
Gotta finish your dinner fast.
Okay, by the way, chat, he sent me a picture of Ayaka from Genshin Impact, and oh man, that's all you're gonna get.
Well, there's the VOD. You did do Genshin the first stream, so
Oh yeah,
if
that's true.
you're watching, I gotta check there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, but VOD, hope you had fun. Or not VOD. Chat, hope you had fun. My goodness. Um, hope you had a great time. Oh yeah, check out my YouTube channel, same name. I'm pumping out a few videos. One video's already out. I have a few others in the works. It's gonna take some time, but it'll happen eventually. But yeah, Ozzy, would you like to have any last words before we end it?
To anyone watching, please pick what you watch carefully.
And on that, we'll end it here. Hope y'all had a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and see you next time.